Winnipeg, where a sold-out Princess Auto Stadium is ready to rock. Don't look now, but these Bombers have won 2 straight, and they are right back in the thick of things in the West. Winnipeg, Hamilton, coming up on TSN.
It's Friday, coast to coast, the CFL is Canada's game. Well, we're all pumped up to party, and we're ready for a fight. Come on, kick back, relax, watching Friday Night Football. The boys are coming back, when the CFL football game is up for grabs. It's Friday Night Football tonight.
Well, after 3 straight losses, Hamilton making a big change to their personnel. Look who's back. Chris Jones, the new Tiger Cats senior defensive assistant. He'll be calling the plays tonight. Now, while the Hamilton D needs a lot of help, Winnipeg's defense, not so much. As of late, they have been great. This man, Willie Jefferson and company, allowing just 9 points a game over their last 3 outings, giving up just over 200 net yards. Oh, how things have changed for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Hello, Canada. Welcome to Friday Night Football on TSN. Kate Burness alongside Jim Barker, Matt Dunnigan, Milt Stegall, as we get set for a great battle on Friday night. Milt, key matchups for this evening.
Bo Levi Mitchell is back in the saddle at quarterback, but he's going against a defensive backfield that's a monster. You got Bonds and Ford at the corners. You got Holmes and Nichols and Alexander controlling the middle. So Bo is going to have a great game. I know he's happy to be back in there, but he's going against a defensive backfield that's maybe the best in the league.
Yeah, Milt, and speaking of Bo, and it just makes you think about Taylor Powell. You know, just wish him well and a speedy recovery. You know, but the guy who caught my eye last week in the loss was Greg Bell, running back for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and faced up with middle linebacker, not Adam Bighill, because he's out for tonight's contest. It's going to be Shane Gauthier, and 8th-year player, got a lot of experience. You see him on special teams, and he knows how to get the job done, and that's the beauty about the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They have depth at every position. The guys can step in and step up. So look at Gauthier and Bell going at it just like if it was Adam Bighill.
I can't wait to see Chris Jones making his return to being a defensive coordinator, going against old veteran Zach Caleros. He's going to give him 3-man rush, then he's going to give him 7-man rush. He's that is the battle of the night. Right there.
Chris Jones not getting paid, though. Is he going to give his best?
He's got a chip on his shoulder, man.
And it seems like everything's right in the world. Jonesy back, right?
He's doing fine. I think he's doing fine. By the way, I think that's the first time you've ever done key matchups and not done an offensive line.
There you go.
There
slipping, Jim. You're
and
slipping.
Bell, by the way, still no James Butler in the lineup for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And the Tiger Cats, they need this win desperately. But as mentioned, it is a sold-out crowd. It is also 90s night, by the way. I hope all of you came prepared. And by the way, let's celebrate some Olympians while we're at it.
Friday Night Football tonight.
A picture-perfect evening in Winnipeg as Friday Night Football rolls into Princess Auto Stadium for the first of 2 meetings between the Bombers and the Tiger Cats. Winnipeg with back-to-back wins. Hello, Dwayne. Good to see you. Good to see you. Winnipeg's looking for their first 3-game winning streak of the season. Ticats have lost 3 in a row, and I go back to their veteran quarterback.
Yeah, Bo Levi Mitchell, who had been sat down despite being the league's leader in passing yards, passing touchdowns. It's those interceptions that got him in trouble, but an injury to Taylor Powell last week puts Bo back in the starting lineup here against Winnipeg. Mentioned he's had trouble with interceptions. Well, that could be a concern given that this guy, the field corner for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Terrell Ford, has been red hot.
100th career victory last week for Mike O'Shea. They've won 3 in a row at home as well. Milanovic on the other side had that little 2-game heater. Lost 3 in a row, 1-4 on the road this season, and 1 of 5 against the West. Sold out crowd, 32,343 for Friday Night Football in the Peg, and we are underway. Johnny Augustine on the return, gets to the 30 and pushes it out just shy of the 40, and that's where Zach Collaros will go to work tonight.
Yes, in this battle of the veteran quarterbacks, Zach Collaros still looking to help his team climb those West Division standings. Been warming up a little bit of late after a slow start, but still don't think we've seen the best of Zach just yet in 2024.
Very slow start, and like you said, coming around. They're third in the West, but trying to build off back-to-back rather dominant victories against the BC Lions, a team they are chasing. 1st and 10 from their own 39, and an early completion out beyond the 45 to Lucky Whitehead, who's now caught all 11 passes he's been thrown this season.
And taking a look at the offensive line, former first-round pick Liam Dobson gets a look at that left guard spot, plugged in there between a couple of veterans. In the receiving core, Ontario Wilson, rookie, 3 games over 100 yards this season. In fact, 4 of the 500-yard games provided by Bomber receivers this year have been produced by rookies.
7 yards on that first down pass to Lucky Whitehead. Brady Oliveira will pick up the first down. He's been churning rather well lately for Winnipeg.
Yeah, Brady 178 yards in his last 2 outings, and here are the guys tasked with trying to stop him. That defensive line, Dwayne Hendricks. Haven't seen big production from Hendricks yet, but a good football player who's due for a big game. Jonathan Moxey is at the nickel linebacker spot, has played most of his career on the back end, but has become a fixture for Hamilton. Some shifting of the back end this week. Kenneth George Jr. released. He had been playing the field halfback spot. Richard Leonard moves from corner inside. Will Sunderland goes to the field corner.
Back on the ground again, right up the middle. Good pickup on first down against the Ticats defense that allows a league worst 33.4 points per game.
And here's that Winnipeg offensive line. Get Tui Alien there as a tight end, the extra offensive lineman, as they look to really establish the line of scrimmage here.
Brady Oliveira, last 3 games, 40 carries for 274 yards. Chris Jones back in black with the Ticats. Watching on as the Bombers try to drive here early. Back again, Brady Oliveira, first down Winnipeg, punching it right down the throats of the Ticats.
Yeah, looking to set that tone. And again, they've had some changes on that offensive line. 3 guys who haven't been with them through the Grey Cup runs of the last 4 years. And Dobson has been on the roster but hasn't been a starter. And you look at Randolph and Lofton over on the other side, newcomers to Winnipeg. I think they want to keep it simple and just, again, establish the line of scrimmage, set the tone, let the O-line do what they like to do, which is move people off the ball.
19 yards on 3 carries for Brady Oliveira, and they go back to him again, tracked down behind this time by Barlow, but got about 2 or 3 yards on that first down carry.
Now watch for Barlow, left side of your screen from his defensive end spot. Plays off the quarterback, ensuring that he has contained, and then recognizing that the ball has been handed off. Able to bounce back inside and get in on the play.
Winnipeg's offense, just 20.8 points per game. That's actually 9th in the league, so it's the lowest scoring offense against the worst defense so far this season. Stanley Bryant is down, and they're going to take a look. He's on one knee. They'll take a look at Bryant early in this one. Bombers driving here in the first quarter. Brady Oliveira, he's been busy early in this one. 4 carries for 22 yards already tonight, and right back where he's been for the last few years, Dwayne.
Yeah, familiar territory, and it speaks not just to his consistency and productivity, but I think it also speaks to this team and what their comfort zone is. I mean, we've talked a lot over the years about Zach Collaros, obviously a couple of MOP awards for Zach along the way. Receivers that have put up big numbers, whether it's been Kenny Lawler, Nick Dembski, or Dalton Schoen. But the fact is, Brady Oliveira is kind of the straw that stirs the drink in this Winnipeg offense.
Yeah, for the longest time, over the last few years, 10 minutes left in a fourth quarter.
Yeah.
It's just 6 minutes of Brady Oliveira. Nobody seems to be able to stop him, get him off the field. And they've already got him involved tonight. He's been busy through the air this year as well, almost 300 yards receiving on 36 catches. Stanley Bryant is still down now. He's just getting up. 5 members of the training staff out there, and they're going to help him off on what looked like a nothing play. Kind of looked like he was about to line back up for the next play and then went down on one knee.
Yeah, that just kind of suddenly, and you can see, I mean, he's struggling. There you see, heading back to the huddle. And then as you see, just looked like he was having some trouble.
Yeah. So he took a knee, and now they started to bring him off the field. And now they're going to put him back down on another knee. This is really concerning.
Yeah, you could see he was having some trouble walking, struggling to balance, basically, by the look of it.
Well, they've got a cart right over to our right here, just waiting to see if they're going to be needed to come out. And he looks pretty distraught here. Once again, no play that we looked at.
Yeah, there was nothing obvious.
It didn't get rolled up on or anything. And we were just talking about the offensive line. You mentioned a lot of new bodies already.
Yeah.
This was kind of the stabilizing force in the left tackle position, and this would be a big blow for the Bombers.
And it appears, you know, the shift that goes down here is we'll see the right guard, Kendall Randolph, it looks like, will move to left tackle. Tui Eli, who has been the 6th lineman, and this is a guy that they use a lot as a tight end in their run-heavy packages. So, you know, I mean, this affects personnel and play calling for them. They do have another O-lineman dressed in Gabe Wallace.
They're walking a stretcher out onto the field here. I see them trying to cool down Stanley Bryant right now as well. They're pouring water down his neck. Looked like they were cutting off his wrist wraps as Buck Pierce watches on. But a rather bizarre start to this football game. We'll step away one more time here as they bring out the stretcher for Stanley Bryant, who appears to be in some discomfort at Princess Auto Stadium. Don't miss the return of the global phenomenon critics call thrilling and endlessly captivating, HBO's House of the Dragon. The new season streaming now only on Crave. A lot of dragon fights in that show. They brought the stretcher out, and they just brought it out when we stepped away. They've now got Stanley Bryant onto the stretcher with some help from his teammates. And once again, all we saw was he got up, went back to the line of scrimmage, and then sort of like almost paused, talked to his teammate, then took a knee. They got him up. If you're just joining us, they got him up. He started to walk off, and then he went back down on the knee again.
He kind of stumbled a little bit.
Yeah.
And then went back down to a knee. Obviously, a lot of concern here for the very respected veteran, Stanley Bryant.
24 degrees at kickoff. Feels like 31. A little bit warmer down on the field. Now they continue to work on him. Looks like the stretcher's now being raised up a little bit. Unlike anything we've really seen, like, he looks exhausted. You know what? He just.
Yeah. Well, and this has been a couple of games in a row involving the Hamilton Tiger Cats that have seen the opening drive halted by some very sobering moments. last week. Luther Hakanavanu injured. Hamilton's opening offensive series. Glad to hear, as Matt Dunnigan touched on, both he and Taylor Powell apparently recovering well from their injuries in that game. Bo Mitchell, a former Calgary Stampeder teammate of Stanley Bryant. You know, and as we discussed during last week's game, I mean, this is a moment where Winnipeg versus Hamilton goes out the window. Where this is a big brotherhood, just everybody hoping that Stanley Bryant is okay.
They will have to refocus when the game resumes, but for now, a lot of concern with his fellow teammates and opposition as well, as Dwayne mentioned. You saw Stanley's drinking water and stuff on his own. Well, there's the IV. They've got the IV set up as well, so maybe a severe case of dehydration, and that would explain why he sort of just stumbled. And
we obviously hope that it's something as simple as that, and a big body.
The best in the league for close to a decade.
I think much of the rise of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers kind of connects a little bit with the arrival of Stanley Bryant, who came over from Calgary to help solidify their offensive line.
That's probably, I mean, you look at other pieces of the core, but the offensive line was a staple here through the last 4 trips to the Grey Cup. Broken up a little bit this year, but the one piece they kept, of course, Stanley Bryant. Two paramedics working on the IV. Towel over his head, wet towel probably over his head here as well.
And I know it's challenging for teammates, because you could see a moment where really the entire Winnipeg sideline wanted to approach and go see him and make sure he was okay, but at the same time recognizing they're trying to keep him cool and give him a little bit of space.
Yeah, the last thing he needs to be crowded. There's still a pretty big crowd around him, just with people who are assisting and helping him here. Looks as though the paramedics are ready to. Oh, looked like he might have got sick there. Scary situation where it's un-injury related, or so we believe at this point. And to see the medical people down there tending to Stanley, well, unsettling for sure.
I just always think of players' family at home watching and just wanting to have some information. Obviously, we'll try to get whatever we can as soon as possible and pass that along.
All right, let's send it back to Kate and the panel for a few minutes as they continue to tend here to Stanley Bryant.
Dustin back alongside Jim Barker, Matt Dunnigan, Milt Stiegel, and we were just saying this too. I mean, to see it with Luther Hakanavanu the other week, and now actually last weekend, and then all of a sudden with Stanley Bryant, I mean, it's horrible to see. And your heart just drops every time you see something like this. The difference of this one compared to last weekend, though, is we really don't know what happened, Jim. And we're watching this entire play. We went back through some of the replays, too. And then he just lost his balance. And all of a sudden, they're tending to him. And they've got the IV clearly going as well. We saw the ice pack being brought over. You don't want to speculate absolutely anything.
Right.
Tonight in Winnipeg, it's 24 degrees. It feels closer to 31 to 32. The IV and the ice, you hope that this is just something like mild heat stroke. You have no idea. Again, we don't want to speculate, but again, just seeing the stretcher out there and the concern on everyone's faces, you just don't want to see it.
All right. Well, now they're wheeling him off, and again, whether he'll go to the hospital or get in a cool, I don't know. Again, we don't know.
We have absolutely no idea, and that's what I'm saying. Like Luther, we saw that play so many times, and that was a horrible play to watch. But Milt, I mean, we don't know what happened here.
We don't know. We don't know. We saw him putting an IV in him. We saw him putting some cold towels on him, and we don't want to speculate about anything. But you know, is there some heat stroke? We just don't know. The main thing is we hope that he gets better. It's not about this game anymore. It's about that young man getting healthy. Stanley Bryant, I know his family is concerned, but they have to understand he's under the best care. So let's hope Stanley Bryant is back on the field sooner, more than later. So that's all our concern is right now.
Yeah, hopefully they deliver the news out quickly, and I know that, you know, whoever's there will relay that forward.
Right.
So that everybody knows, because everybody across the league is concerned about.
And Matty,
Stanley
like
Bryant.
we saw a week ago, I mean, just trying to get back into game action now. You've just watched one of your teammates go off on a stretcher. I mean, just emotionally, that's a lot.
Yeah. I think players keep in perspective. You know, heat stroke, big man. You know, didn't hydrate well. They'll get him under control, and Ely will get a chance to play, and they'll go on to trying to pound the football on Hamilton. But at the end of the day, it's always it's disconcerting to see your teammate go down like that. You can see the people, both teams, very concerned about the big man, and he's so revered around the league. You know, whenever you see something like that, a player in distress, and you really don't know why, because we're all spitballing here, and it's like, what's going on? And you can realize, okay, it's a big man. They're going to need 4 or 5 big men to take him off. But at the end of the day, I think they got it under control, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a super good thing. And just watching the teammates, too, and everyone kind of rallying around. You saw Willie in the huddle there as well, too. And, you know, it was the same thing when it came to Luther, when it came to Taylor going off last weekend as well. But, I mean, you just hope for the best right now. And as you said, too, for the families watching this is just like the last thing you ever want to see. So fingers crossed. He was conscious as he left the field, which is certainly a good sign. As we said, it's an IV, it's an ice pack. Fingers crossed that this is heat stroke. It's mild, and some of the players watch this and make sure they hydrate properly moving forward. Let's get you back to Princess Auto Stadium. Here once again is Dustin Nielsen.
Thank you, Kate. Conversation back there on the panel. They've cleaned up the field. Stanley Bryant was stretchered off. We'll wait for an update from the Bombers. And this is still the first drive of the football game, and now both teams have to somehow find a way to get fired back up.
Yeah, kind of lock back in here. Winnipeg off to a pretty good start, had a good drive going, relying largely on the legs of Brady Oliveira.
2nd and 7. Polaris over the middle, has a completion right near the first down marker. Clercius with his first catch of the game.
Watch for Clercius getting an opportunity to play with injury to Drew Wolotarski. 2nd-round pick for the Bombers this year. Montrealer who played his college football at Connecticut. We've talked about him before as one of the stars, really, risers of this year's CFL Combine. Didn't get a lot of targets during his time in college. Definitely showed he's a versatile player.
Polaris has that batted down at the line by Mason.
Trevon Mason getting an opportunity to get into that defensive line rotation these last couple of games. We see good penetration, just a straight bull rush, but eyes up, recognizing when the quarterback is looking to throw the football.
Kendall Randolph has been moved from right guard out to left tackle and places Stanley Bryant. Ely into the game at right guard. 2nd and 10. Three-man pressure. Collaros down the field for Lawler. Defended well and incomplete. And Castillo will trot out on the field for a field goal attempt.
And there you see matchup between a couple of veterans. Great matchup both in terms of talent and physical attributes. Couple tall, long guys in Jamal Peters and Kenny Lawler. Stavros Katsantonis showing off his range, getting over there to help out, breaking things up.
43-yarder for Castillo. 30 of 37 on the season, and that one is up and through. And the Bombers put points on the board to start this football game. They lead 3-0. Bo Levi Mitchell about to get his first crack at it here on Friday Night Football from Princess Auto Stadium on TSN. Bo Levi Mitchell back starting here for the Ticats after being benched last game. 5 300-yard games already this season. His interceptions stand out a little bit, though, don't they?
Well, they do, and you know, this has been much of the debate for Hamilton when you look at a quarterback leading the league in passing yards and in passing touchdowns. You know, group of receivers that have put up pretty good numbers. The fact is, this is a team with a heavy losing record.
He'll start on the ground to Bell, and he'll get 3 yards on that first down carry.
An offensive line that has allowed the fewest sacks in the league coming in. They've gone back to 2 rookies at tackle. Brandon Bordner on the left. Quinton Barrow comes back in for Jordan Murray at right tackle. In the receiving core, injuries to their Canadian receivers. Fortunately, Brendan O'Leary Orange, former Blue Bomber, who had been hurt in the season opener, is healthy, ready to go for this when he gets to start against his old team.
Hamilton does not have a first quarter point in their last 3 games. Mitchell near side to Bell, and he will be stopped well short of a first down. And Hamilton will be forced to kick this away. A quick 2 and outs.
Yeah, one of those plays that reminds you of the width of the Canadian field, 65 yards, as this is a long throw for a short gain. Bombers sitting back around that first down marker, just waiting to come up and make the tackle.
Lucky Whitehead waiting in the distance. Constantinu set to kick it away. Lets it fly from his own 35. Whitehead slides underneath it. Takes it cleanly. Returns right back up the middle. Secures the ball and takes it out beyond the 30-yard line.
Well, Zach Collaros, a week ago, close to 300 yards for him. The second of those back-to-back wins over the BC Lions. Of course, happy to have Kenny Lawler back in the lineup. Nick Dembski turned in his first 100-yard receiving game of the year. As the Bombers continue to show signs of a return to good things.
Starting to trend back in that right direction. Certainly within striking distance, and just a Wild West so far this year in the CFL. Collaros out to his right. Nowhere to go, so he's going to take off. And a little forward slide just beyond the 35.
Yeah, they're flooding that right side of the field that Zach is rolling to, hoping that the window for one of the receivers on that side is going to open up. Nothing does. Veteran quarterback recognizes, don't take the sack, turn it into a positive play, even if just a short gain.
Menard was there to touch him down. 3-yard pickup for Collaros. Bombers will work from their own 46 here. 3 options out to the right, 2 to the left. Looks to the right, dumps it over the middle to his running back. And they'll push it ahead for a first down. Once again, Brady Oliveira gets involved in the passing attack.
Yeah, 3-man rush here from Hamilton, which means that Oliveira is not going to have to help out in protection. He's got to get out, put some pressure on the coverage. Take advantage of that. Good awareness for Brady, recognizing where that first down marker is. Just run into space to pick that up and move the sticks.
Wilson makes the tackle, team leading 59 coming into this game. Bombers, though, now up to their own 44 with a 3-0 lead. Brady Oliveira again runs into Wilson and Baker.
Yeah, this is kind of a patience play for Oliveira, as you're going to get the receiver coming across the formation, trying to hold things up on the outside. That, along with Collaros' action there, kind of keeps David Menard on the outside, and they try to open up that gap. The Cats doing a good job shutting things down.
Three-man pressure again. Collaros escapes, takes off himself, trying to lunge ahead. He'll be about a yard shy. And could they turn things over to Strebler at this point on the field?
And again, Hamilton continuing to go with that three-man rush, dropping 9 into coverage. This is one of the things Zach Collaros is going to have to do. Obviously, 9 people in coverage, not a lot of open windows, not a lot of space there to throw the ball. So he's got to make plays like that with his legs to keep the Hamilton defense honest, and maybe shake Chris Jones's crew out of what they're trying to do.
Strebler into the game for the first time today, has the room, has the burst, and has a first down for the Bombers in midfield.
Yeah, as a whole, the Strebler unit, short yardage group, has been very effective this year. This time going to the right side, where in addition to the O-line, he's got Brady Oliveira, Kevin Sklercius over there, helping move the line of scrimmage.
Strebler will stay in the game. Collaros comes back in at quarterback. Strebler at the top of your screen and trips now. He's going to slide in behind. Collaros in trouble and has to throw it away with Menard right in his face.
Yeah, Menard doing a nice job here from his defensive end spot. Former BC Lion and Montreal Alouette. Protect and contain, recognizing his responsibilities, playing it with discipline to avoid allowing the big play, as Strebler is used as a decoy trying to pull flow the other way.
Second and 10 from the Ticat 54 for Collaros and the Bombers offense. Zach down the field, and that's incomplete. Looked like a little bit of a stumble from Lawler, and he was kind of partially down when that ball arrived.
There you see Kenny Lawler working out of the slot. Second game back in the lineup for him. Just slipped on his break coming back to the football, leaving him unable to adjust to that throw.
Jamison Sheen now will punt it away. Tim White, Jordan Bird waiting back on their own 5. And they'll kick it in the direction of White. Grabs it quickly. Got a couple of blocks. There's a flag on the return as he takes it back just outside of the 20. Beautiful night at Princess Auto Stadium. Bombers lead 3-0. There's a look at Greg Bell. This is his 3rd start. Made the most of the first 2, I thought.
Yeah, had one unfortunate play in the last game with a ball going off his hands for an interception. But the thing that the Hamilton Tiger Cats like about Greg Bell is his explosiveness, and we certainly saw some of that in both the run and passing game from the San Diego State product. James Butler still very much in the running back picture in Hamilton. He has been banged up. His physical style takes a little bit of a toll. And as mentioned, a team that looking for a little bit of a spark, looking for some big plays, hoping Bell is a guy who may be able to provide some of that.
Just 1 2-0 so far in this game for the Ticats. They'll hand it off. And Bell is gobbled up Woods, among others, in on the tackle.
Yeah, Jamal Woods received lots of praise from Willie Jefferson in our conversation this week for his work on the inside. Woods had his first career CFL sack last week. At middle linebacker, Shane Gauthier listed as the starter. We know we're going to see some different looks from the Bombers depending on the Ticats personnel. Mike O'Shea talked to us this week about the success of his secondary hinging so much on the communication of the interior three guys. He says they do such a good job of getting everybody on task. I know Terrell Ford has talked a lot about the joy of working with Evan Holm.
2nd and 7, Mitchell down the field, and that is incomplete. Looking for Patton.
Yeah, Terrell Bonds supplying the coverage on that one. Patman getting back on the roster for the first time in a few weeks. Big target. Looking for a little bit of a size mismatch, maybe a jump ball situation here, but good positioning by Terrell Bonds wins out on that one.
Another 2-and-out for the Ticats. This kick will bounce at the 50, a high hop. Whitehead slides over, grabs it, is wrapped up immediately, but excellent field position for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers here.
Yeah, you can see it off the Tim White punt return. Hamilton got themselves in a little bit of trouble with the penalty that left them backed up, unable to pick up a first down, and very suddenly, as you mentioned, very favorable field position, short field here for Collaros and the Bombers.
This drive will start on the Hamilton 45. Zach is 3 of 7 for just 22 yards so far in the game. Pretty much already within field goal range for Castillo. Brady Oliveira cuts it back, broke a tackle, pushes it ahead, and stops just shy of another Winnipeg first down.
Now watch the way the flow here from the offensive line gets everybody going to the left, and then a terrific cutback by Brady Oliveira. Reads that flow, sees it sealed off backside, cuts off the butt of his right tackle, Eric Lofton, as everything gets washed down. Nice patience, nice vision. The Winnipeg native, Oliveira.
Streveler into the game again, pushing ahead. That initial push was enough for a Winnipeg first down.
That's certainly never a play off for the defense when Chris Streveler comes in with that short yardage unit. Big physical runner. Fullback in name, or sorry, fullback in body type, quarterback in name.
Well, you know what's funny? I always prep for games. Zach Collaros is listed at 6'1", 218, and Streveler's listed at 6'1", 216. And you couldn't have two guys that looked so much more, like so opposite,
yeah,
when they basically have the same sort of numbers. Collaros wants to throw it this time. He's going to look towards the end zone. Too much juice on it. He had Lucky Whitehead in behind the defense, but he put a lot of zip on that, didn't he?
Yeah, I tell you, in terms of the route, if anybody wondered if Lucky Whitehead had lost a step over the years, the answer is no. You're going to see Lucky just running past people here, opens up. I think Zach got a little excited when he saw Whitehead initially get in behind the halfback, Destin Talbert.
Lucky's thinking, I'm fast, but not that fast. He was moving, too.
Yeah, it needed to be either faster or a whole lot taller.
Back to Brady on a little bit of a draw. He's got a first down. Broke another tackle, takes it inside the 20. And Brady Oliveira is rumbling here in the first quarter for the Bombers.
Well, we said it on the opening series. They want to set the tone, establish the line of scrimmage. Lose a starting offensive lineman, and a very good one in that, in Stanley Bryant, but it doesn't change the game plan. It hasn't affected the execution for Winnipeg up front. Oliveira and the O-line dominating here in the early going.
50 yards in the first quarter for Brady Oliveira. Collaros gets it away. Had to move that quickly. He's able to find Ontario Wilson for the first time in this game, right at the end of the opening quarter, a quarter in which Winnipeg leads 3-0. They'll be looking for a little bit more as we pick things up in the second quarter. They're knocking on the door, looking to extend this lead and looking to win their 4th in a row at home. Winnipeg on top through 15. Well, a low-scoring game through the first 15 minutes. Bombers on top 3-0, looking for a little bit more rushing yards, 64. It's pretty impressive for Winnipeg right now.
Yeah, certainly that stands out so far, but there's something else standing out.
Yeah, something else is standing out here too. Fred Penner's in the house here tonight. Grew up a huge fan. He's got his smash hit song Sandwiches, and this is actually an inspired Italian sandwich. You want to lady and tramp this thing with me? As the saying goes, the song goes, sandwiches are beautiful, sandwiches are fine. I like sandwiches. I eat them all the time. Well, Fred Penner's done it again. He's done it again.
Another hit for Fred Penner.
Another smash hit. This guy's just putting out gold records and great sandwiches. We want some of that?
I'm good. I'm good.
That's real nice. Thank you, Fred Penner. Thank you for my childhood. And now as an adult.
You got to meet Fred
I met him
before
tonight.
the game. I saw Dustin Nielsen turn into a small child on the way to the booth.
We were walking by and he was eating dinner. I said, holy smokes, that's Fred Penner. I'm going to pop in and say hi. And this lady was like, he's eating. I said, I just want to say hi. And he was really nice.
Was he eating a sandwich?
No, actually, in a bizarre twist, he wasn't. Now here's Streveler. Faked the handoff, took it himself, socked around the 10. And that'll be a 3rd down here for the Bombers.
Once again, Brandon Barlow coming from his defensive end position is going to fall to the inside here to make a play. Just beat Kendall Randolph again, who moved from right guard to left tackle to replace Stanley Bryant, who left the game in the opening series.
Not enough. Picked up there by Streveler to consider going for it. So Castillo will come out. And a short attempt here for Castillo inside 20 yards. That is up, and it is through, and Castillo's got a couple of field goals, and the Bombers have a 6-0 lead. Hamilton has not scored a first quarter point now in 4 straight games. Shamar Bridges, he could maybe get things going, and last week, for a while now, he's been sensational.
Yeah, certainly one of the guys they look to be a catalyst in this Hamilton Tiger Cat offense. Rookie receiver, big target, has certainly earned the favor of his quarterback, Bo Levi Mitchell, through the first half of 2024.
25 catches, last 3 games, leads the team in yards, targets, and catches, on pace to destroy the rookie reception record. We'll see if they can find him somewhere. Down the field for Tim White. That'll work. As they connect with White down to the 40. And that might be his biggest play of the entire season.
Yeah, exactly. You and I talked before this game about the fact that Tim White in this Hamilton offense, here's a guy who has led the entire league in receiving in the past, comes into this game 4th on the Hamilton Tiger Cats in receiving yardage. Completion percentage on targets to Tim White, just over 50%. They're having a hard time getting the ball into the hands of one of their best players.
His season long was 28. That one goes for 30. Here's Mitchell, the fake. Looks down the field, near side, back to Tim White. He's got it again. Cuts it back, trying to find some space. And he's popped by Garbutt at the 20, but another first down and another big pickup for Tim White.
And if you're looking for a positive sign for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, the start of Tim White here in the second quarter, certainly one of them. You see his agility and footwork on the route, catching it in front of Terrell Ford. A good effort after the catch to pick up a few.
Ticats looking to strike back in a hurry. Mitchell again down the field. That time he was looking for Bridges, and Terrell Bonds had other ideas.
A big play from Bonds. He looks a little shaken up after the contact there. collision with the bigger Bridges. Nice coverage, terrific break to the football, driving to the ball off his plan. The close, wrap up the arms of the receiver so that Bridges couldn't secure that ball.
First target for Bridges in the game. 2nd and 10 for Bo Levi here. 3 options out to his left. Looks to his right. Throws to his right towards the end zone. Oh! Almost one-handed by Bridges, but it falls incomplete.
Try to keep an eye on 2 things as we look at this replay. Bridges is the receiver who ends up being targeted. Watch Greg Bell in the flat, because his choice is to go to one of these 2 guys. I think he's in a position, if he hits Bell right now, they might score. But he gets locked in on the receiver going deep, and you get it. Bridges had an advantage, got just in behind Terrell Ford. But there might have been an easier one there.
Legiel, 90% on the season. This one from 27 at a place he used to call home, and he smooths that one through, and the Ticats are on the board. They were looking for possibly the lead here as Mitchell tried to find Bridges for his 5th major of the season. Got one hand on it, but not the other. Win number 100, 5th fastest to do it last week for Mike O'Shea.
Yeah, congratulations to Coach O'Shea, a well-deserved milestone. Highly respected during his playing days, and I think even more so during his time as a coach, loved by his players with the Bombers.
700th victory for the franchise as well. Now a deep shot to Lawler, and that one up for grabs again, but he could not hang on. Sunderland right there with him every step of the way.
Yeah, that'll be a big one for the confidence of Will Sunderland, making his first start of 2024. Bombers looking for a classic Kenny Lawler highlight reel catch. Looking to jumpstart his season after he was injured in week 1. Out of the lineup until he made his return last week, week 11.
Lawler's at the sidelines. We're told they're looking at his finger after that play. 2nd and 10. There's a completion. Flag on the far side of the field, though. It's Josh Johnson for the first time today, his 17th catch of the year.
Illegal contact. Hamilton, number 2. Penalty is declined. First down.
So Josh Johnson, you're going to see him working back to the football here, making a play for Zach Collaros. One of 3 rookies starting in that Winnipeg receiving corps due to injuries.
Fresh set from the 54. Back to Brady on the ground. A couple of yards on that play. That's his first carry of the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, Brady just keeping it front side there, taking what he could. We saw him a little bit earlier, recognizing the cutback opportunity. No such luck on that one. Hamilton with a late personnel shuffle.
Oliveira now out in the slot. Empty backfield for Collaros. Guns it out. They've got the first down. This time he gets Dembski involved. First catch of the ball game for number 10 in blue.
Yeah, Dembski lined up as number 3 receiver, the inside slot on the hash. Quick hitter, gets the halfback running to cover the outside route. He just spins, sits it down inside. Easy connection there between he and Zach Collaros.
64 games in a row with a catch now for Dembski. Lawler sitting at 45 himself coming into this one. Back on the ground to Brady. Takes it down inside the 40 as the Bombers pick their way down the field here.
Yeah, the Bombers, they've mixed it up a little bit in stretches, it seems. They've had a couple of very run-heavy drives, but we also saw them rely a lot on the pass for a stretch for a drive in the first quarter. So mixing it up, maybe looking to keep Chris Jones off balance before the veteran defensive coordinator can get them off their game.
4 options out to the right. There's flags on the play. Kolaris got rid of it. Short gainer over the middle. We'll sort out these flags. 13 pass attempts for Zach, 9 carries for Brady. Pretty even distribution so far.
Offside, Hamilton, number 75. 5-yard penalty. We'll repeat second down.
And Nick Usher, we saw the veteran defensive end towards the bottom of your screen move a little early. Tried to pin it on the tackle, Eric Lofton, but it was definitely Usher who flinched first.
So that 5-yard penalty moves it up. Now it's 2nd and 1. And Strevler quickly out onto the field here for Winnipeg. Straight ahead quickly this time. And down to the 30. More than enough for the Bombers to get a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, Winnipeg does a nice job with that short yardage team of not always hitting the same point of attack or the same gap. And you can see how it impacts the defense. They're not sure whether just to crash and pinch to the middle, because sometimes Strevler will bounce it towards outside gaps. The chess match goes on between a couple of experienced CFL coaches in Chris Jones and Buck Pierce.
Kolaris' first 6 completions have gone to 6 different receivers on the run. Out to his right, looking down the field. Drops it in there to Wilson for a first down along the sideline.
Oh, here's Ontario Wilson continuing his fine rookie season. Coming back to the ball along the sidelines, aware of his feet and space. See Kolaris rolling to his right, and he had plenty of time out there, and a lot of credit for that goes to the rookie receiver, Kevin Sklercius, who did a terrific job, asked to block on that one, setting the edge to allow Kolaris to break contain.
How about those numbers on Ontario Wilson? Over 500 receiving yards in his last 5 games. That includes just 43 last time out. The work from the 15. Kolaris gives it away, picked off, taken away by Peters. His 3rd interception of the season, and that'll silence the crowd here at Princess Auto Stadium. Looks like it just sort of sailed over top of the head of Brady Oliveira, and Peters says thank you very much.
Lots happening on this last play for Winnipeg offensively. You've got Nick Dembski on play action. Oliveira coming across the formation into the flat. But watch Lucky Whitehead from the end of the line. He's just going to go hook it up in the window. Oliveira's running to the flat. No one really goes deep with Lawler. 2 defenders are coming downhill on Oliveira. That there might have been a better shot to just go to Lucky on the sit down. Meanwhile, Jamal Peters has his 3rd interception. Only Hamilton Tiger Cats still on the roster who has an interception this year.
And they only have 5 all season. Lowest total in the league. Look at this for White. He's got some speed on the far side. Finally sort of ran into some traffic over there. Looked like if he could have got another block or 2, he would have been gone. And they've got him going here in this quarter.
Yeah, building a little bit of momentum with Tim White. You see the fake to Greg Bell. White's coming back the other way. Felix Garon-Gauthier gets out in front with a nice block. Stephen Dunbar battling as well downfield. But yeah, I think the more ways you can find to put the ball in the hands of Tim White is a good idea for the Ticats.
This time they'll put it in the hands of Bell, who's wrapped up and thrown ahead by Tony Jones. but not before he picks up close to 4 yards on the play.
And Tony Jones, experienced CFL linebacker, former Edmonton Elk. Valuable pickup here with Kyrie Wilson and Brian Cole, both on the injured list. And of course, Adam Bighill, the latest to join sick bay from the Bombers linebacking corps.
Bighill added to the 6 game just this week. 2nd and 6 for Mitchell. 3-man pressure. Sits in the pocket now. Right in his face. They'll get there and take him down. Nowhere to go. Talent. First of the season.
I'll tell you, having watched the last number of Hamilton games, this is an interesting play by Bo Levi Mitchell, because so much of what has been, I think, hammered into his head is don't force passes, don't make a mistake, don't commit the turnover, where historically in his career, he's been a little bit of the gunslinger, right? In that situation, he's going to throw it and hope someone makes a big play. You hate to lose the yards, but I think ultimately for Scott Milanovich, avoiding the turnover is going to make him obviously happier.
Lucky Whitehead steps out of bounds at the 35. Bo Levi Mitchell sacked for a 13th time this season, and the Bombers get the ball back. Welcome back to Winnipeg, where if you're just joining us, you will not see Stanley Bryan on that offensive line. He was stretchered off earlier. For an update, let's send it down to John Liu.
Yeah, thank you, Dustin. And an update from the Bombers is as follows, that Stanley Bryan is at a local hospital. He is alert and undergoing further evaluation. His condition is stable, and he's with team medical personnel at the moment. Before he left the stadium, paramedics worked on Bryant's for about approximately 25 minutes and the ambulance was parked at the northwest corner of Princess Auto Stadium before departing to the hospital, guys. But the good news is that Bryant is alert and stable at the moment.
Oh, that is good to hear. Thank you for the update, John. And hopefully he'll be okay.
Yeah, very positive news.
Illegal block, hands to the face. Winnipeg, number 69. 10-yard penalty. Will repeat first down.
It's Kendall Randolph. The hands to the face. He knocked the helmet right off.
I believe it was Nick Usher, defensive end. Keep an eye on this matchup out on the right side of your screen. See the right hand come up at the end. Pop that helmet off.
Tough to argue that one. 1st and 20. Kolaris pressure coming, and they'll get to him this time.
So back-to-back plays. There's Usher getting there. Again, Kendall Randolph has been taking his reps at guard, and not just at guard, but at right guard, right? And now he's being asked to play the left tackle spot and working against Nick Usher. Usher seems to have him a little bit off balance. You saw the bull rush on the last one where Randolph got called for the hands to the face. This time, that quick hand slap and dart inside by Usher catches Randolph off guard. But again, different angles. You're working out in space on the edge, whereas, you know, it's like being in a phone booth a little bit when you're at guard. You're a little more insulated.
2nd sack of the season for Usher. Kolaris will go back to Wilson, but it was a 2nd and 27. Got about half of what they needed, and now they'll have to kick it away.
And just, you know, the other piece, just to finish that thought on what Kendall Randolph is being asked to do, is he's been taking all his reps on the right side, and now he's moving out to play on the left. So not just a different position with different spacing and different angles, but you're asking him to completely
He's not just sliding over one spot,
he's got to reverse his footwork as well.
Jamison Sheen lays this one out there. Bird away. Takes it just inside the 35. And that ball is popped out, scooped up by the Bombers, and now a chance to goal. It's Ayers to the end zone. Got it. Touchdown, Winnipeg. Michael Ayers leads the team in special teams tackles, finds the fumble, and finishes
The return game has been what I would describe as an ongoing area of struggle for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. For a lot of years, a strength for this team. Right now, a lot of uncertainty. Jordan Bird playing his first game for Hamilton after Smoke Harris was injured, after Lawrence Woods was injured. And Bird gets popped. Big play on special teams for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers to put points on the board. But again, this is the challenge for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. A team that doesn't create turnovers. We talked about only 5 interceptions, and 2 of them left the building when Kenneth George Jr. got cut earlier in the week. Like, you only have one guy on your team who has intercepted a ball this year. They can't get turnovers, but they commit turnovers, and it's killing them.
Bird gets hammered. Ayers is there to take advantage of it, and he's got an escort to the end zone. Bombers on top by 10.
It's 90s night in Winnipeg tonight, and you know the panel loves a good theme night. But you know that this hair was made for the 90s. Come on. You jealous, Stiegel? You're jealous.
Watch out there now.
Here we go.
Halftime coming up. Special teams tackle and touchdown. The highlight of this one so far. Ticats will have to find a way to score some points against the Bombers defense that just simply doesn't allow them. Here's Bird on the return after just fumbling the last one. This time he hangs on and takes it out just shy of the Hamilton 30. Still some time here for Bo Levi to maybe get Tim White activated again and put some points on the board.
Yeah, I mean, Tim White has been, I would say, the bright spot for Hamilton so far in this ballgame. Very involved in their offense. You know, interesting to note with this being Bird's first game, Tim White handled the first punt return of this game for Hamilton, probably having to do with field position in case he had to make a decision about the ball going in the end zone, etc. But we may see him back there if Bird struggles.
That ball sitting there. Bombers will hop on it. It's blown down. Tim White has 81 yards of offense. The rest of the
field is an
Ticats
incomplete pass. Second down.
have 14. He's been everything so far for them.
They've leaned heavily on him, which in some ways is a good thing for Hamilton, obviously, as this is a guy you'd like to get going, one of the most talented players in the Canadian Football League. But we need a little more.
They need 10 more here. Second down from their own 28. Mitchell gets it away near side. Bridges through his hands and incomplete. Would have been a first down. Working there against Griffin and Bonds. And they'll have to kick it away one more time.
Yeah, this was a nice route by Bridges to get himself a little bit of breathing room to catch this one. Is just working back to his quarterback, and you see got in good position to make a play, but the ball just goes through his hands.
Constantino out to boot it away to Lucky Whitehead, who paces back and forth just beyond his own 30. That's where he takes it. Lucky Whitehead picks his way back out beyond the 40, and there's flags here for a late hit after Whitehead was down, and this is going to move the ball up towards midfield for the Bombers, I believe.
Yeah, it looked like it was James Tuck who had kind of committed himself to diving in there just as Whitehead went down. He ends up making contact late, draws the flag.
Crowd here just got a look at it. Plenty of boos at Princess Auto Stadium.
And there you saw Tuck, and yeah, he left his feet late on that one.
It's a rowdy crowd here tonight, sold out, over 32,000.
And the Bombers defense, which has been absolutely lights out for the last couple of weeks, continues to do their thing, holding the Ticats to just 3 points thus far.
Last 4 weeks, Bombers are averaging 11.9 points against. That's the lowest 4-game stretch since October of 2021, when they allowed 7.3 points per game for 4 in a row, which included a shutout. This streak includes a shutout as well.
On the previous play, we have unnecessary roughness, Hamilton, number 40. After the play, we have a 15-yard misconduct against Winnipeg, number 36. It'll be first down, Winnipeg.
So,
take a look at the entire thing one more time.
Yeah, and that would have been Bailey Feltmate responding to the late hit. Sort of came to the defense of his teammate going after James Tuck.
Understandable, you want to stand up for a teammate after a cheap shot like that. Now they'll give it to Dembski. Dembski pushing ahead. Gets a little bit of help and just shy of the first down.
Adding a little variety to that run game. Collaros and Oliveira coming right. Dembski countering back. Taking that little shovel or toss on the counter, taking it up inside, going back to the left.
Strevler. 2nd and 1. Little bit of a hesitation, found some space and got the 1 yard. No, just depend on the spot here. It's really close. And they're going to say it's 3rd down. I'm sure Strevler will just do it again.
Yeah, no changes to the personnel package whatsoever. Bombers aren't really trying to hide anything.
Oh, they've still got just under 2 minutes to put a few more points on the board here and have a rather comfortable lead heading into the half. Collaros will watch on as Strevler looks to take care of business this time. 3rd down. That'll do it. Right to midfield.
The Bombers continuing to wear down this Hamilton defense a little bit. Physical game. Looking at different ways to run the football, right? We've seen steady diet of Strevler for one thing, and the pounding when he's in there, but obviously Oliveira and now Dembski getting involved a little bit as well.
Time of possession, 20 minutes for the Bombers, just 8 for the Ticats. That guy will have a lot to do with it. Brady Oliveira bumps his way ahead, close to the Ticat 50. Hamilton defense allowing 99.6 yards per game on the ground so far this year. Oliveira already at 61, 6.1 yards per carry tonight, just above his season average of 5.9. Empty backfield this time for Collaros. 4 options out to his left, 2 to his right. Looks over the middle, drops it in there for a first down, and Wilson stayed on his feet, got a few extra yards, and the Bombers officially in business late in the first half.
Well, and there's going to be a bit of a challenge here for Winnipeg as we see another offensive lineman go down. That's the rookie Gabe Wallace, 17th overall pick in this year's draft. He's in at right guard. See Wilson fighting for extra yards there, but Winnipeg came into this game with 7 offensive linemen dressed. This is a team that very frequently in their run game uses 6 offensive linemen. Tuieli, generally the 6th guy, had gone in as the 6th man in that situation. In the previous down, Wallace had come in at guard and stayed in at guard, with Ellie filling his usual role as sort of the fullback or tight end for a couple plays. Ellie had been the guy who went in to play guard when Stanley Bryant got hurt and Kendall Randolph shifted out. Take a look again. You're looking at the right guard. Just right at the end, you see that right knee kind of get tweaked out.
Yeah, and that is what they will tend to here. They'll have to go with the 5 remaining offensive linemen the rest of the way.
Yeah, and Gabe Wallace, a mountain of a man, 6'6", about 340 pounds.
He's 24 years old.
Yeah, BC boy, salmon arm. Played his college ball at the University of Buffalo. Winnipeg stocked up their roster a little bit, replenished their Canadian talent in the 2nd round of this year's draft. They had 3 picks, Wallace being the 3rd of those picks. Also Kevin Sklercius and Michael Chris Ike, running back, who's on the injured list right now.
Well, I believe with Big Hill going on, they've got 10 other guys in the 6 game. The Bombers have, well, we talked about with Lawler earlier in the year, Wolodarski, Stanley Bryant tonight. The card is out here now for Wallace. There's Big Hill, just placed on the 6 game. You can see really no pressure on the right knee.
And it's just going to be interesting to see how this affects the game plan for Winnipeg, because you've just lost one of the packages that you rely on, and particularly that you'd been relying on in the early portion of this ball game with your 6 offensive line.
So do you put Feltmate just in there as a fullback? And
well, I think that they may try some of that. That would be the
6th man in those packages.
That would be the most obvious switch if they're going to stay committed to the package, but it certainly changes the dynamics when your fullback is no longer a 300-plus pounder, and you're maybe getting a mismatch on a linebacker.
2 offensive linemen down for the Bombers here in the first half. 50 seconds remaining on the clock. Within field goal range, no doubt, for Sergio Castillo. But the offense has yet to find the end zone tonight. Only touchdown, fumble recovery on special teams by Ayers.
And the offense has looked very impressive at times, particularly in running the football here tonight, but just unable to finish drives, stalling when they get into that green zone.
Eric Lofton, the right tackle. They've moved Randolph over to the left side with the Stanley Bryant injury. Now they're going to back the card out with Wallace on it. That's what they were waiting for, to blow this game back in, and now they will, with that clock ticking for Collaros and this Winnipeg offense. Zach's 10 of 17, 106 yards and an interception that came just a little bit further up the field than they are now. Collaros in the pocket, grabbed and taken down. It's Menard's 2nd sack of the season.
That's a big one for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, as once again the Bombers were getting themselves into scoring position. Menard, the veteran, that time beating Randolph to the outside.
2nd and 16. Collaros scrambling around the pocket again. There's a flag as he takes off and slides ahead, and another late flag, I believe, for the contact on the quarterback as he was sliding, but we'll have to sort this out.
It certainly appeared to be thrown on the tackle by Trevon Mason.
Justin McInnes, the referee for us tonight here in Winnipeg.
Here we'll get a look at the tail end of it as Mason beats his block, and he kind of wraps up Collaros as he's falling down, but he almost looked like he got knocked off balance in pursuit, not so much a case of diving to make the play as it initially looked like.
There are 2 fouls on the previous play. Holding,
And we're up high,
Winnipeg, number 69. Roughing the passer, Hamilton, number 94. It'll be an automatic first down for Winnipeg.
So Randolph, who's playing that left tackle spot, got caught on the hold. But the roughing the passer call gives the Bombers a first down with just 15 seconds on the clock. Not much time left to work here. Castillo ready on that Winnipeg sideline.
Yeah, it's certainly time with a veteran quarterback to get a couple of plays in here.
Collaros down the field for Dembski, and it falls incomplete. And another injury. That's Katsatonis down, trying to stretch him out.
Well, hoping by the reaction there that this is just a cramp for Katsatonis. You saw he and Dembski were on a little bit of a collision course. You're going to see Dembski working out of the slot here. He's going to break in. There's actually the second safety in the ball game, Rob Panabaker, who was back there and almost had the big hit.
Halftime. Kate and the panel break down everything we've seen so far here in Winnipeg. You watched Hamilton quite a bit this year. Any differences with Chris Jones on the defense that you've noticed through the first 3 quarters?
I think you are definitely seeing a few more variety of looks, I would say, in terms of what they're doing, where at times we've seen a steady diet of 3-man front, other times 4, seeing some different personnel packages, different than they've used, but a little different flavor. And I think Winnipeg is able to negate the impact of some of that by relying on their run game the way they have. I think sometimes those kinds of things can be a little bit more confusing when you're having to throw the ball and deal with protections and people lined up in different places, where the run game, where so often you're dealing with zone blocking schemes, that it's an easier adjustment, and that has allowed Winnipeg to have some success still in moving the football.
Continuing to work on Katsatonis' right leg.
Yeah, just Katsatonis, the player to the left, just stumbled, went down awkwardly.
He's up and walking off now, so that's a good sign. A little bit of a limp.
Yeah, he came back last week after having spent a few games on the injured list. Robert Panabaker started at safety in his place. Katsatonis bringing a little bit of experience to a secondary that has seen a lot of turnover this year.
So 12 seconds on the clock. It's a 2nd and 10. Brady Oliveira will stand in to the left of Collaros. Collaros near side. That one hops into Wilson, and that'll bring up 3rd down and a field goal attempt for Sergio Castillo, who's already got 2 in this ball game.
Yeah, and you can see the frustration right away from Zach Collaros. He had his guy as Lawler clears out the halfback, pushes him deep, leaving Wilson open in that flat, but Zach just knew he didn't get quite enough on that ball, didn't get it out there.
6 different players with a catch in this game for the Bombers. Kenny Lawler is not one of them. He's been targeted 3 times, has not been able to haul one in. 41-yard attempt for Castillo, and that is up, and that is through with 3 seconds on the clock. Winnipeg in full control here late in the half, leading 16-3 in front of a sold-out crowd.
Yeah, you wouldn't call it an explosive offensive showcase by any stretch for the Bombers, but effective in moving the football, struggling to find the end zone.
Yeah.
But definitely controlling the play in this game. I think from a Hamilton perspective, you've had some flashes. Tim White has been terrific in the various ways that they've gotten him involved, and I think if you're Hamilton, you're fortunate to only be down 13 at halftime, that you're still within striking distance if you can come up with a couple of plays in the second half.
Ticats getting a dose of what the Bombers got, or gave to the BC Lions, I should say, in their last 2 outings. Shut out BC a few weeks ago, and then last week held them to just 11. Brady Oliveira, probably the most consistent piece of this offense so far for Winnipeg tonight.
Yeah, it was a tone that was set early, intent established by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers to run the football. They did it very effectively. You know, Brady's in a little bit of a groove, came into this one with 178 yards on the ground over his last 2 games. And a good productive first half for number 20 here.
Let's send it down to John Liu, who's got Brady Oliveira standing by.
Well, Brady, you got the good news. The Stanley Bryant is stable in hospital. But what went through your mind when you were standing close to the stretcher on the field as he was being tended to by paramedics?
Yeah, I mean, you never want to see that. You know, a guy that I'm so close with, especially. You know, good news is that, you know, we received an update that he's alert and he's doing well and his spirits are high. Yeah, you never want to see that happen to anyone, you know, your teammate, the other team, whatever it is. So we're happy that he's in good spirits, and now we just got to go out there and honor him and go out there and get a win for him.
Not to diminish the human impact, but losing 2 offensive linemen, Brady, how do you anticipate your offensive game plan may have to be altered in the second half?
Same thing. Well, you know, we're going to keep doing what we do. Next man up. You know, our offensive line is a smart unit. We got guys that are ready to step in at any time, and today is going to be the game and their opportunity. So we're not going to change up anything. Just keep doing what we do and play our style of football. Defensively and on special teams, you're stepping up. For complementary football, what does your offense need to do to finish a little bit more in the end zone? Yeah, we need to play 3-phase football, and right now we're not. We're playing 2-phase, and our offense, we need to step it up. You know, we got to put this thing on our back, and when we get in the score zone, we have to finish. It's a non-negotiable. You know, we're getting down there too many times and not finishing. So the second half, we got to come in here and put points to the board and finish with 6. Thank you for this, Brady. Thank you. I'll send it back to you and Kate and the panel.
Alongside Jim Barker, Matt Dunnigan, Mills Siegel, and Brady Oliveira, the most consistent member of that offense in the first half. As Dustin Nielsen did say, he had 61 yards on the ground. And JB, we knew coming into this game, watching Hamilton's run defense all season long, it's not a surprise what the Bombers are doing on offense. They do just need to finish a little bit more.
No, this is bully ball. This is what the Bombers want to do. This is how they win games. What they're doing now is making deposits for the dividends that's going to pay at the end of the game. You're going to see them just pound Brady inside. The Bombers ran 39 plays to 13 for the Tiger Cats. Now, if you don't think that 39 plays to 13 is going to be a big problem for these guys, these defenders, when you've got Brady Oliveira consistently pounding. He had 10 carries, 61 yards, and oh my goodness, that's going to be tough for them. They only have 5 offensive linemen, but they dressed 5. They've got 5 left. Sure. As long as they don't lose anybody, all they do is lose. They lose some of their double tight packages and things like that. But this is about Brady Oliveira and that offensive line continuing to control the game.
Couldn't agree more. They have to. Brady said it. You know, we need 6s instead of 3s. We need to finish. We have 2 quarterbacks in this football game that are two-time MOP players of the league at one point in their careers, right? And they are struggling big time. And I can say that that's hats off. I think we're already seeing the Chris Jones effect with the Hamilton secondary. And we know what Jordan Younger's secondary can do, but this is tight coverage. These quarterbacks are trying to push the football down the field, but they are being blanketed by DBs everywhere they look. And the ball's just not being put where it needs to be, because that's sometimes pressure in your face, and sometimes you just tip of the cap to both these defensive coordinators and their teams, because they're getting the job done. And sometimes you got to recognize the fact that defense can win too. And in that first half, it was certainly about defense, and it hadn't been for the fumble on special teams, it's just nothing but a field goal fest, and that's okay too, right? Because those are good football games. We saw one of those like last night, Miller.
I'd rather see touchdowns, but I know where you're going. I'd rather see touchdowns, yes. And another player who would rather see touchdowns is Tim White. And you look at this Hamilton offense, and not much has been done, but Tim White has done his part. He's been everything. I mean, this team has 89 total yards, and he has 81 of them, and they have to find a way to get him more involved. He just hasn't been involved in this offense this year. I think he came into this game as the Hamilton Tiger Cat fourth leading receiver. So I'm not saying force him the ball, but find ways to get him the ball. You see right here, this is a rushing attempt. This is a 31-yard rush. When this man gets the ball in his hand, he is dangerous. So they have to be creative getting the ball in his hands. Like, I know they're struggling offensively, and as I alluded to, don't force him the ball. Get the ball in his hands. You're still in this game right now. You still have an opportunity,
no doubt.
But you got to get the ball in your playmakers, and he's their best playmaker.
Hey, Mill, I can say a couple weeks ago when we saw BC play at home against, Winnipeg host BC, beat them 24-0. Their time of possession was almost 42 minutes. Wow. And it's hard to get guys the ball and distribute the football when you don't have it.
That's exactly
and that's what they need to do. Winnipeg is to continue to possess the football, because they're keeping Hamilton out of sorts and not giving an opportunity to find their rhythm.
They're halfway there, 22 minutes in the first half.
You know what, and I agree too with you. I think they're just going to pound the ball. They're going to wear this defense down. And what was it, dividends, or adding up dividends?
Deposits
for dividends. That's another JB line. 16-3, Bombers are leading.
It's a sign of desire, design of the perfect fighter. I take you higher with a mission to inspire. My sign of desire, design of the perfect fighter. Balanced combination of earth, wind, and fire. It's a sign of desire, design of the perfect fighter. I take you higher with a mission to inspire. My sign of desire, design of the perfect fighter. Balanced combination of earth, wind, and fire.
All right, taking a look at the CFL on TSN schedule this weekend. Join us. Why not, right? Week 12 continues with BC Lions taking on the Ottawa Red Blacks tomorrow, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, and it all wraps up with the Montreal Alouettes taking on the surging Edmonton Elks once again, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. And for the BC Lions, it will be Nathan Rourke once again under center, and we all know that the debut did not go as well. Well, the second debut really for Nathan Rourke. 8 of 25 is 126 yards, 2 INTs. Matty only being with the team for a few days, and he took all the blame after this one as well. We do expect him to be better.
Yeah. And I expected him to handle it the way he did, with class, dignity. He's an upstanding young man. He shouldered it. He's a little hard on himself, but at the end of the day, it's not going to get any easier. You got to travel across the country, go against a hot team, a shutdown defense. You go from a Jordan Younger defense in Winnipeg last week, and you go to a Baron Miles defense this week, a team that, boy, you're going to walk in, you're going to limp out. And it's going to be a tough battle, in my opinion. Yeah. And a couple of practices, then you got to travel, and they expect great things. And I think we'll see an improvement. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a difficult task and a tough road for this football team.
Well, go ahead. Oh, he's getting the opportunity to breathe. You know, he's been through a lot of travel, coming from the NFL to the CFL. I won't say he's learning a new game, but he had to rethink things. He had to make sure he understood that he was on a bigger field. He never had an opportunity to do that, but now with a couple of more practices, he'll definitely play a lot better. He's playing with some receivers he hadn't played with before, so it just takes time. So will he improve from last week? He can't be much worse, so I think we'll see it better.
He's a very determined young man. I mean, the one thing, I don't know him real well, but just watching him, he's a very determined, hard-working young guy, and he's going to come out and play much better. Now, will that be enough against this Ottawa defense is as healthy as any in the league? So it's going to be a tough task. task. Again, Nathan's game, playing in the NFL is totally different. So that's a tough change. Plus, like you say, the new receivers. So it's a tough one, but Nathan Rourke is determined.
JB, who do you love in Canadian music? Is it Fred Penner? Is he your favorite?
I just saw him for the first time.
The Guess Who?
That was the first time you saw Fred Penner?
Yes.
Otto the Hippo?
I should have got the Guess Who, right? From Winnipeg, huh?
Well, we're all pumped up to party, and we're ready for a fight. Relax, watching Friday Night Football. Boys are too bad, playing CFL football. Games on the grabs. It's Friday Night Football tonight.
Friday Night Football indeed. Second half coming up. Bombers leading the Ticats 16-3. Ticats head coach Scott Milanovich is with John Luke.
Scott, aside from Tim White's long run in that first half, what do you need to do to get more traction offensively?
Well, we need to run the ball better, and we need to get more yards on first down. We've been in second and long all night. A couple penalties on special teams, turnover, the return for a touchdown. Obviously, we got to clean up the mistakes.
Can your defense take advantage of the fact that the Bombers are now missing two of their offensive linemen?
I would certainly hope so.
A couple of major fouls there. How did those sit with you? They didn't cost you on the scoreboard, but field position.
Yeah, they don't sit with me well, obviously.
Thank you for this, Scott.
Scott Milanovich, and that man is quarterback, Bo Levi Mitchell, looking for answers here, trying to do something that the Lions really couldn't do until 2 seconds left in the last game, finally find the end zone against an incredible Bombers defense.
Yeah, when you talk about the phrase complementary football, I mean, one of the things about phases complementing each other here for the Hamilton Tiger Cat, their offense needs to put some drives together. You saw that time of possession, like 21 minutes to 8 something.
Here's Bird on the return, sidestepping it along the far sideline. And maybe something positive for the Ticats to start the half. Decent field position from Jordan Bird.
Yeah, Bird looking to rebound from the unfortunate first half fumble on a punt return that was recovered for a Blue Bombers touchdown by Michael Ayers. Positive start here to the second for the returner who was in training camp with the Toronto Argonauts.
Bo Levi Mitchell, 3 completions in the first half of the ball game. Got to find a way here. Starts down the field, incomplete. Ford defending against Dunbar, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 10.
And Terrell Ford manning that wide side corner position, and frankly loving life out there as he is emerging as a dominant player at that position.
Half a season, and we're already saying those types of things about him, right? Extremely impressive. Three options, wide side right for Mitchell. That's where he looks. Now he's in trouble. Dumps it off to White. Can White pick up some ground here? He's going to get stopped at about the 50. That'll be 2 yards shy of a first down. And we'll see what Hamilton decides to do here.
Yeah, Hamilton team that, even though we've got a whole half of football to go here, may start feeling a little bit of pressure just to get something going, to keep possession of the football, but not going to risk giving Winnipeg a short field here.
Constantino out to kick it away to Lucky Whitehead. So after a positive return, 2 and out here for the Ticats to start the third quarter. This hangs up there nicely. Lucky takes it at the 5. Slips, runs out of room, and is taken down on the tackle by Sunderland. And a look at what Zach did in the first half.
Yeah, and nothing eye-popping for the Winnipeg quarterback in this one. As we've talked about, a lot of their offense has revolved around Brady Oliveira and the run game. Relatively short passes. maybe a couple of missed opportunities for Zach. You think particularly about that shot to Lucky Whitehead in the end zone that was just overthrown. But in terms of sort of managing the game, he and the Bombers have done that.
Well, they've done this a lot too. They'll hand it off to Brady Oliveira. That's his 11th carry of the ball game, and he's been putting him in some pretty good spots for second down.
Yeah, and I'll reiterate, like, you're talking about a Hamilton defense that was on the field for over 21 minutes out of 30 in the first half of this football game. If Winnipeg is allowed to continue to impose their will in the run game and just maintain possession of the ball like this in the second half, they're going to be exhausted come fourth quarter. And that bending is going to become breakage.
Empty backfield here for Collaros. Takes off with it. And he is almost right at that first down marker, they're going to say. I think he's just a little shy. They'll put that spot a couple yards back, actually.
Looks like he's going to be just short. Casey Sales doing a nice job retracing his steps after the rush upfield. Get back, coming down with the hammer, looking for the strip of Collaros on that play.
So Ticats defense does the job here because they should get decent field position. Jamison Sheen will kick this away from right around his own 10 here for the Bombers. Gets it away, far side. Bird slides underneath it, makes the first man miss, and takes it back out almost to midfield. Bo Levi Mitchell trying to get something going here at Princess Auto Stadium in Winnipeg, where the Bombers lead the Ticats 16-3 on Friday Night Football. Welcome back to Winnipeg, where the lone bright spot for the Ticats offense so far tonight. Tim White, 89 of Hamilton's 96 yards of net offense.
Yeah, White with a 30-yard reception, his longest of the season to date. Followed that up with another first down pickup. Had a nice gain in the run game as well. You know, it reminds you a little bit of high school, where there's like the one really athletic kid. Tim White has been that go-to guy for Hamilton, but they're not getting much out of anyone else.
So try to run it here with Bell, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage and no further. Haba was there to wrap him up.
Yeah, Celestin Haba's second-year defensive end. Working his way back into shape after a stint on the injured list, back a couple of games now.
Three-man front from the Bombers. Haba, Garbutt, and Willie. Jones is on the line now. He'll back off. He'll go back on the ground again to Bell. A good burst. Takes it up inside the 50, but it'll be stopped a couple yards shy. And now this is an interesting spot on the field for the Ticats here if you try to get some momentum going. And they are going to bring out bigger package here, I believe.
Yeah, now into Winnipeg territory by about 6 yards. Definitely not a gimme.
No.
But again, the opportunities have been hard to come by for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. This is the shot they got to take.
3rd and 2. Bo Levi up under center. Turns, fakes the handoff, rolls to his right, dumps off the Bridges, and they got the first down in creative fashion. And the first catch of the ball game for Shamar Bridges.
Yeah, nicely executed by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Almost 3 yards to go. Play action, quick hitter, high percentage play. Shamar Bridges, he's been their guy all year on second down, this time on third down when they need to move the sticks. The rookie has been their man.
Mitchell switching things up at the line of scrimmage. From the Bomber 43. Back to Bridges again. And now Alexander was there after getting about 5 yards on that first down quick pass.
Yeah, just one of their variations on the hitch or slip screen here. Didn't get a lot of blocks to create a lane for Bridges there.
2nd and 4. Bell will stand in to the left of Bo Levi. Mitchell throwing here on the run out to his right down the field for Tim White. He's got him just outside the 10. And Tim White comes up big for his quarterback again.
Now White, who has produced the vast majority of the Ticat offense. It's he and Dietrich Nichols going to work here. And there you saw with that route, he just got the defensive halfback turned around. Nichols flipped his hips to the inside. White broke outside, creating a separation.
This Winnipeg defense has allowed just 1 touchdown in their last 3.5 games at this point. Mitchell gives it to Bell. Bell down to the 5, to the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown, Hamilton.
And a lot of credit for this drive goes back a couple of plays to the decision to gamble. On 3rd down, keep the drive alive. The Hamilton Tiger Cats make it pay off in a big way with the touchdown for Greg Bell, first-year running back. This nice bounce here as he gets to 2nd level, picks up a block as the offensive line stayed alive on the play.
2 touchdowns last week, 1 on the ground, 1 through the air for Bell. And he's got another one here for Milanovic and the Ticats offense. Legio to make it a 6-point game. And he does. Ticats on the road finally have some life. 6-play, 57-yard drive that took just over 3 minutes. Finished by Greg Bell.
Well, the Hamilton Tiger Cats have put together the game's first touchdown drive. Greg Bell chipping in big. 3rd down gamble, completion to Shamar Bridges to pick that up. And it's just the Cats kind of chipping away, nickel and diming their way down there. No surprise to see Tim White make the biggest play of that possession. And a nice run there by rookie running back Greg Bell, bouncing it to the outside to find his way into the end zone.
Well, Levi Mitchell now just over 100 yards passing in this ball game. His team hanging around, trailing by 10. Lucky Whitehead on the return, and he's tracked down from behind and taken down just outside the 35. Well, something to build on here for the Ticats. It'd be great if their defense could get off the field again right away and really start to build that momentum.
Yeah, well, great for the Hamilton Tiger Cats to get a good start here in the 3rd quarter. I mean, it was a slow start for them to this game. It's been a slow start for them a lot, quite frankly, this year. 4 straight games without scoring a 1st quarter point. But at least coming back here, answering the bell in the 3rd quarter to close that gap, now to within a score.
Usher with the tackle on Brady Oliveira held him to just 2 yards, so a 2nd and 8 and a throwing situation here for Collaros.
Well, Hamilton once again will go in this passing situation with 3 defensive linemen. Look to blanket the Bombers with coverage.
Collaros down the field, and that's intercepted. Stepping in underneath the receiver, Collaros looks like he's looking for a flag. Leonard stepped in. That's his first interception of the season, and the Ticats defense has taken it away from the Bombers. Zach still got his hands out. His 2nd interception of the ball game. Leonard takes it away this time.
Well, taking a look back at that interception, Kenny Lawler is the intended receiver, which is why I put so many circles on him. And you're going to see, watch how the corner Sunderland falls off of his guy. And I think that makes Zach Collaros hesitant to sort of lead Lawler towards the sidelines with the ball when you're thinking he can throw him outside because Leonard is playing inside leverage. I think where Sunderland was made him hesitant to do that. Instead, he throws it in a position where Leonard's able to make a play on the ball.
Ticats take over at the 50, and an incompletion. Trying to find Keandre Smith. First time that we mentioned his name in this game, but he was out of bounds. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Smith desperately trying to get a foot down in bounds as he catches this one, but unable as that left foot lands on the sideline first.
It's like Haba jumped here. He knows it.
Offside, Winnipeg, number 45. 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
First time this season that the Ticats have had 2 interceptions in a game.
Yeah, we talked about their challenges in creating turnovers. As you see, Celestin Haba get caught.
Much more manageable situation for Mitchell in the offense. He'll wave Smith in behind him. He'll give it to Bell. Bell ran into a wall of Bombers, bounced off of it, and is going to be about 2.5 yards shy of a first down. And Leggio will come out here for a deep attempt.
Yeah, his longest on the year is 47. This one will be from about 50, 51.
He has not even attempted one from 50 yet this year. 1-for-1 tonight. Leggio to make it a 3-point game from 50 on the dot. That is up, and it is good. Leggio with a season long. And the Ticats have made it a football game here in the 3rd quarter as Leggio strokes one through the uprights. Well, this Winnipeg defense has been outstanding. Look at those numbers in their last 3 games. For more on the man calling the shots, let's send it down to John Liu.
Well, thank you, Dustin. And even though the Bombers lost in Saskatchewan 5 weeks ago, defensive coordinator Jordan Younger says that he felt that his defense really turned a corner in that game, that his players started to really understand just how good and how effective they could be. And in the ensuing 4.5 games in which the Bombers have only given up 3 offensive touchdowns, what we're seeing is the culmination of a concept that Younger implemented in training camp, and that was versatility. Not just the ability to flex to adapt to any offensive opponent, but Younger trying to find the sweet spots of all his new and old players and expanding their comfort zones to make them more dynamic so that when they're attacking or defending, they are working from parts of the field that they wouldn't normally be accustomed to confuse opposing quarterbacks, and we see the results. Bombers are the 2nd stingiest team in the league right now, guys.
Thank you, John. Big run here by Brady Oliveira.
Yeah, and that's one that hurts when you're the Hamilton Tiger Cats and you've finally picked up some momentum, some traction in this ball game in the 3rd quarter. A couple missed tackles near the line of scrimmage. Brady Oliveira, big run into Hamilton territory. Kind of perk the Bombers back up a little bit and get this crowd back into it, quite frankly.
28 yards for Brady Oliveira, tying his season long, and he's creeping up towards 100 for the 4th time this year. They'll give it to him again. That'll be 100, and he's got a first down. And a drive featuring Brady Oliveira, never a bad idea for the Bombers.
Yeah, Oliveira has been the answer for the Bombers tonight. You see the fullback Brady Feltmate into the game as we asked the question earlier of what the Bombers would do to account for the loss of personnel from their 6 O-line package. Felt mate, former star linebacker at Acadia University, but transitioning now.
Of course.
Yeah, it's been that night for Winnipeg, hasn't it?
Getting in there because of 2 injured offensive linemen, trying to help out a bit, and now he is injured.
I am 2 arthritic hips away from making a comeback right now.
It's been one of those nights for the Bombers who still find themselves ahead in this football game, but
yeah, but having to make adjustments in terms of their personnel packages.
Well, Brady is up, but he is limping. Bailey, sorry, I say Brady.
Easy to say the way Brady has racked up numbers tonight.
Well, Feltmate will go to the sideline and see if that continues to impact things for a team that's just run the ball extremely well so far tonight. We were talking about it before the broadcast. Brady Oliveira does not have a touchdown yet this season.
Remarkably.
They'll toss it to him here. Oliveira, one stiff arm, but not another. He's taken down by Peters before he could turn the corner.
Yeah, good flow to the football from the Hamilton Tiger Cat defense, and in particular, great run support by their secondary. And I think, you know, this is part of Jamal Peters' game. We talk about him all the time as a ball hawk, shutdown corner, you know, using his length and reach to his advantage in pass coverage. But this is a guy who is aggressive, I think genuinely relishes getting involved in run defense as well. There you see Peters leading the Tiger Cats in interceptions.
2nd and 14, Kolaris dumped it off. Couldn't get anything set up, and Dembski wrapped up immediately. So Castillo trotted onto the field, looking to regain that 6-point cushion for the home side.
Yeah, Ticats, you're going to see really running to the football here. Casey Sales gets a piece. DQ Thomas tracking the play down from behind to make the tackle. Rookie middle linebacker.
Castillo perfect so far tonight, looking to go to 4 for 4. 45 yards just inside the left hash. That is up, and no doubt about it, Castillo remains perfect. Start that season. Ticats offense back on the field. Once again trailing by 6. 2 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. Mitchell down the field looking for Tim White. And that one out of bounds. No shot at it for White, who's having an excellent game.
Yeah, overthrow there, and that in part created by the coverage provided by Terrell Ford on the corner there. You see the out and up, but Ford stays on top of it.
He didn't bite at all, did he?
No. No, and he talked to us a little bit this week. Terrell's a guy who would have played corner on the boundary side during his time at University of Waterloo, now playing field side. Longer throws, a little bit different, you know, in terms of dealing with time and space.
Mitchell down the field, and Smith had to adjust a little bit, but he's got his first catch of the ball game, and they're on to Winnipeg's side of the field.
Yeah, nice effort by Keandre Smith to go and get this one. You see him just settling in between levels. Linebacker underneath. Safety Brandon Alexander over the top.
Mitchell has that batted down by Willie Jefferson. Looks like he almost tried to sidearm that around him, and Willie would have none of it.
Yeah, Willie's done this more than a few times in his career with that condor-like wingspan as he gets into the backfield. Big defensive play for him.
Capacity crowd at Princess Auto Stadium trying to get behind this defense. Mitchell plays one out. That is complete down inside the 30. O'Leary Orange against his former club has his first catch of the game.
Brendan O'Leary Orange. Good to see him start at number 3 to wide side, working that out. Had good separation, good clear read for Mitchell. Delivers the throw on time, an easy first down pickup for what looks like a very different Hamilton Tigers that team this half.
Mitchell gets it away again, near side, down to the 10. And the tackle is made. Devontae Robinson with his first catch of the ball game, the big target.
Yeah, Robinson getting an opportunity at that tight end spot. We've talked about a lot with Hamilton and their desire to integrate that spot a little more into their offense. They've looked at a number of different American players at that spot, but it seems the guy who has made the biggest contribution kind of settled down the spot is the global player, Devontae Robinson, converted basketball star.
First and goal from the Winnipeg 6. Ticats look to tie the game. They give it to Bell, and he's in. Touchdown, Hamilton. Second of the game for Greg Bell. And just like that, we're tied at 19.
Well, I'd love to hear a recording of Scott Milanovich's halftime speech. I think John Lou got a little bit of the flavor of it in the interview. All business, and his team has taken it to heart. Let's take a look here. As they block it up, and there's a nice cutback by Greg Bell.
Well, a Bombers defense that gave up 1 touchdown in 3.5 games has given up 2 touchdowns here in the third quarter.
Well, and all those opportunities in the first half.
Yes.
Right? You think about it, combination of field goals and an interception in Hamilton territory. A lot of missed opportunities for Winnipeg to have built a bigger lead at this stage in the game. But they let the Cats hang around. Right now, the Hamilton Tiger Cats are making them pay for it.
Well, Levi Mitchell has looked after the ball so far tonight. Just 165 yards, but no interceptions. Kolaris on the other side has thrown a couple of picks. Leggio for the lead at the end of the quarter, and that's exactly what he gives the Ticats. Hamilton on top, 20-19. Greg Bell finding the end zone not once, but twice in the third quarter. And we've got a good finish coming up on Friday Night Football. Well, just like that, Tiger Cats with a 20-19 lead on the road here in Winnipeg. What turned the tide here, do you think?
Again, I would love to hear the halftime speech from Scott Milanovic, because I think he certainly got the attention of his players. But an offense that, quite honestly, has struggled to make plays, has made plays. And the thing that really stands out to me, though, is this is a team that all season has been losing the turnover battle. A couple of Zach Kolaris interceptions have made a difference on the scoreboard.
Yeah, well, and it's funny because first touchdown of the game was a fumble by the Ticats that ended up being taken back. But offensively, they've looked after the football so far here today. And surprise, surprise, they now find themselves in a real tight game here with a Winnipeg club who's won 3 in a row at home. Winnipeg has not won 3 in a row so far this season. They have every year since 2016. Still looking to do that here. Bombers are 0-4 when trailing after 3 quarters. Ticats are 2-2 when leading at after 3 quarters, but this is just a 1-point game. Whitehead pump the brakes, flag on the field as he turns it up to about the 35 where Caleros starts to go to work. Let's take a look at this drive for the Ticats.
Yeah, bully by Mitchell.
During the return, holding.
Got a couple of nice plays from his receiver. Tough catch there for Keandre Smith. Brendan O'Leary-Orange picking up a first down with that one. Giovanni Robinson getting a little more involved game by game. And there's Greg Bell, who's been lighting up the score sheet a little bit.
3 players with their first catch of the game on that drive.
Yeah, as we talked ourselves at halftime about the need for people other than Tim White to contribute offensively, and they got that, and look at the difference it has made.
A hold on the return backs the Bombers up to their own 17, and Wilson has nowhere to go. It's a team leading 5th catch of the game. Kenny Lawler has been targeted 4 times but does not have a catch yet tonight.
Well, Will Sunderland comes up to make the tackle on this one. He's a little slow to get up on the play. But nonetheless, a good job by him in space to make that tackle and force this second down. Mentioned Sunderland, the most obvious, I guess, personnel change on defense since Chris Jones' arrival. Kenneth George Jr. had been playing field half. Last year he played boundary corner. This year he moved to field half. He was released this week. He had 2 of the Ticats' 4 interceptions coming into this game. Richard Leonard had been playing field half after playing most of his, field corner after having played most of his career at field half. He moves back to his familiar position. We saw him with at least a couple of big plays earlier in this game as he's back in familiar territory. Had an interception earlier. And Will Sunderland was the guy who came in to take over that field corner spot. Second-year Cat.
Sunderland is up. Walking off, looked like he just sort of tightened up a bit. They came over and stretched him out. We'll see if he returns in this game. See what they move around defensively here. It looks like they're going to slide Moxie.
Yeah, Moxie will go back from his nickel linebacker spot.
He's got experience at the corner, right?
Yeah, he's played a lot on the back end.
2nd and 3. Augustine trying to push ahead with it, and he snuck around the block, and he's got a first down for Winnipeg.
Yeah. The matchup gets interesting here because what the personnel shuffle for Hamilton is here is DQ Thomas, who had started at middle linebacker, has been their starting middle linebacker. He moves and plays on the strong side. Kyle Wilson still has the boundary side, and the rookie Ryan Baker out of UBC comes in and plays in the middle. The young guy finds himself pancaked by big Liam Dobson on that play, but playing 3 traditional linebackers. And Winnipeg successfully running the rock.
Johnson with the catch turns and sort of just pushes his way ahead through a defender, and it'll be a 2nd and manageable for the Bombers. There's Brady Oliveira, and he doesn't have the helmet on. He's trying to walk something off on the sideline. This is usually Brady time right here, so there's a storyline to follow. Get on it, John Lou.
You know John's working on it, but in the meantime, the Bombers with depth at that position. Johnny Augustine going to work.
And here's Augustine right up the middle for another first down, picking his way through that 2nd level.
Now you see the explosiveness of Johnny Augustine, the former Guelph Griffin. Pounding his way through.
Augustine averaging 4.8 yards per carry this year on 19 attempts coming into the game, so he's got some work. A little bit more here possibly in the fourth quarter. Kolaris, that looked like it hit something on the way out. And it falls incomplete.
Yeah, wasn't sure if it hit something or if he kind of tried to pull that one back once his arm had started, but something was clearly amiss.
Oh, geez. Fluttered out of there.
And you wonder sometimes, even as a veteran quarterback, if you start second guessing yourself a little bit, right? And seeing ghosts out there when you make a decision on where you want to go with the ball.
2nd and 10. Kolaris in trouble, taken down from behind. Usher again.
Yeah, Usher's 2nd sack of the ball game. He came into this game with only 1. Nick Usher coming from the far right side of your screen. You know, and just a high motor play. Randolph had him blocked up, but as the quarterback gets flush from the pocket, Usher able to adjust his angle and get there.
For those of you just joining us, Stanley Bryant left the game in the first quarter, and that's why you'll see Randolph over there at left tackle. Here's Bird on the return, finds a little bit of space, and this could be something cooking here for the Ticats, far side of the field. Jordan Bird, there's a flag on the play as he tries to get around the edge, stopped by the 30, but multiple flags at midfield, and is this one coming back?
During the return, holding Hamilton, number 42. It's a 10-yard penalty, first down.
And it is his best burst of the night by far. Jordan Bird trying to make something happen here for the Ticats. The hold as he hit midfield. There's a look at it.
Flyby. Well, Jordan Bird had what was his most impressive return of the night to date. Looked like this one could be going places, but right there. You saw the whole Trevor Hoyt battling Retta Cramdy. And just hung on a little too long to get away with it.
Ticats with the lead and the ball from their own 45. Mitchell, a ton of time down the field. He's got White again for a first down and into Bomber territory at the Winnipeg 45.
A slow developing play here. We'll watch the matchup. Tim White gets Terrell Ford turned around a little bit. Pick up that first down for the Tiger Cats.
.105 yards receiving for White. Mitchell gets this one away. And unable to get back that time was White. Bo had to rush it a bit with some pressure in his face.
Yeah, had a receiver out there. I think that one ended up being more of a throwaway than anything else, as he knew he's under pressure. Watch Keandre Smith towards the top of your screen. He's able to pick up one of those two rushers, but you've got two guys coming free. Bo's just getting rid of it. Knows that his man out towards the sidelines. If my guy makes an amazing diving catch, great. If not, I know it's going harmlessly to the turf.
Second and 10. 3 to the left for Bo. That's where he throws. Smith gets hammered as he reached out for it. Alexander nailed him. And that'll bring up third down.
Well, Brandon Alexander goes a little old school here. Just defending the deep middle. Crossing route. And Keandre Smith has established in his young career, he's fearless. He's going after that football regardless. He knows Alexander's coming downhill. Big collision there.
They won't attempt the long field goal. Instead, they'll look to pin him deep. Constantinu hangs it up there. Lucky takes it at the 10, 5-yard return, and no more. And Winnipeg will have the ball back, setting up a pretty good finish here on Friday Night Football in Winnipeg as Collaros looks to get the Bombers back on top. Well, the Bombers' offense is back on the field, but Brady Oliveira remains on the sideline. This is what we think caused the issue.
Yeah, it takes a pretty good helmet to the knee on that hit with his knee in an extended position. Katsantonis delivering the hit. Brady looks like he's been trying to keep that loose. In the meantime, Johnny Augustine carrying the load at running back.
Collaros looks to throw here. Flushed out of the pocket on the run to his right. Finds Dembski, and that's a first down. Dembski pushing ahead, and that'll go for about 16.
Zach Collaros does a nice job here, negotiating the pocket, managing this pressure to stay alive. David Menard gets caught inside, which allows Zach to slip outside. Find an outlet in Nick Dembski.
Zach Collaros does not have a completion of 20 yards or more tonight. Bo Levi's got 6 of them on the other side of this game. Collaros down the field here looking for Dembski, who takes some punishment from Katsantonis after not being able to come up with that ball.
Katsantonis perhaps answering the gauntlet dropped by Brandon Alexander moments ago. Nick Dembski looking to make that catch across the middle. Again, much like Keandre Smith, you know the risk you're taking going airborne across the middle, but admire these guys who do it regardless.
2nd and 10 for Collaros. That pocket closes quickly. He has to throw as he was grabbed. I think Usher was in there again, and he's just having his way with Kendall Randolph on that left side.
Yeah, and one of the other things that has stood out, you look, Nick Usher coming from the top of your screen, also David Menard down at the bottom of the screen. David Menard has played way more snaps tonight than he's played defensively all year, and he has been noticeable. Right, this is a guy pretty impactful for Montreal a couple of years back, has been a consistently productive defensive lineman given the opportunity. Hamilton is a team that has had ratio issues all season. The retirement of Jordan Williams put them in a tough spot. David Menard is a guy who can help them, and he has tonight.
Has a sack. This return for Bird goes nowhere, but once again, Hamilton gets the ball back, and once again does it with the lead, with less than 8 minutes to play on the road here in the Peg. Welcome back to Winnipeg, which will be the place that the CFL returns to CTV. The Banjo Bowl on September 7th begins a series of Saturdays across the league back on CTV. That's exciting. That's fun.
They are freeing us from the confines of cable television, Dustin.
Now everybody can watch.
CFL for everyone.
That'll be a good one, too. This place will be nuts. Pretty sure that game's already sold out. Just like this one tonight. We'll give it to Bell. And he has jumped on almost right away.
Yeah, once again, good discipline on defense as you're getting a counter here. You see Tim White coming from the right side of your screen, moving to the left. Bell's going to go back, taking the handoff the other way as they try to get flow. Nice job there by Bordner, the left tackle, coming through with the kick out.
Second and 8. Mitchell on the run to his right, down the field. And is it taken away? Alexander was right there. There's going to be a conversation. Bombers fans think he has it. But was it a completion the other way?
Ruling on the field is down with contact. First down.
Big play for the Ticats.
Yeah, we'll see the sliding catch. And again, I want to point out something that Bo Levi Mitchell does here. See how he's looking back to his left and then makes a decision. Not going to throw it across the middle. Got in trouble with 2 interceptions in the back-to-back games against Montreal.
Oh, this is interesting. Looked like that play got off, but Osh had thrown his challenge flag, and they blew it down.
Yeah, Hamilton perhaps intentionally trying to accelerate their pace there and not give Mike O'Shea a chance to throw that challenge flag.
Well, I think that's what the conversation is here.
Yeah, because, I mean, the play happened right in front of the Hamilton bench that maybe maybe they didn't want that challenge to happen.
Yeah.
Based on what they may or may not have seen over there.
Our referee, Justin McInnes, over chatting with Bombers head coach Mike O'Shea.
Winnipeg is challenging the previous ruling of Hamilton being down with contact. The play will be reviewed.
Command center will go to work.
And we'll take a look here at the tail end of this. Tim White coming back to get the football. It's through his hands. So I think
it's just an incomplete pass.
I'm not sure that it actually hit the ground, though.
Problem is, it's going to be tight to get a look at.
Well, yeah, to get a clear look at whether, like, is there a time here where White does get his hands under it, or is it only Alexander who actually has control of the football? You know, what I'm seeing is Alexander. Because when it comes into White, it goes through his arms, yeah. Like, I think Alexander is the guy who keeps the ball from hitting the turf.
Well, this could be a good angle.
See, there you see it kind of slips through the hands of Tim White. Brandon Alexander gets his right arm underneath there.
It's a ridiculous play by Alexander.
See the blue tape on the hand of Alexander coming underneath. See, White doesn't have his hands on the ball at that point. Alexander does.
When they both hit the ground, it was more in possession of Alexander than White.
That's what
we're looking at right here. Oh, what a call to be made with just over 6 minutes left in this game. This place will erupt. Let's find out.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Winnipeg will be charged a timeout.
Wow. Not enough.
Yeah,
not enough to overturn.
Yeah, I mean, I get the argument of inconclusive evidence. I know I was convinced of a different verdict, but I understand the call and the interpretation.
First and 10, though, for the Ticats from the Winnipeg 46. White's got it again. His 7th catch of the ball game. White having his best game of the season.
Yeah, Tim White going right back to work here. Zone coverage. You see him sit it down in space. Ticats clinging to that 1-point lead looking to avoid taking any risk.
Need 3 more yards to keep this drive alive. Bell stands in left to Bo Levi. He'll give it to him. Bell wrapped up and stopped short. Woods grabbed the leg and hung on.
And looking at the spot here.
About a yard, isn't it?
Yeah. Leggio in the field goal unit. Yeah, I see they've moved the sticks and it's more like 2 yards.
Easy decision on the 3rd and 2. Leggio for a 4-point lead. Straight away from 45. That is up, and it is wide left. Leggio misses it, and it's brought away and back out beyond the 10. And the lead remains 1.
Well, long way to go here still for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. But with the miss here, it leaves them in a position to take the lead if they can get a field goal just wide left for Mark Leggio, Lucky Whitehead. Brings it out, you know, just looking at the score and the time, do you give up the single point there for the field position? Or do you think Lucky thought he had a chance for a bigger return?
I see what you're saying there. Yeah, give up the point, get the field position. It's still just going to be a field goal either way.
Yeah, a field goal either puts you up by 2 or puts you up by 1, but you can give yourself a little shorter path to get there. Nonetheless, it is up to Zach Collaros in the offense to go on a march.
Well, still a ton of time in this ball game, but a 2nd and 10 for Collaros. He's got just 4 completions in the second half of this ball game. Needs one here. Gets it away far side. Incomplete, 3rd down, and they'll have to kick it right back to Hamilton, and some Boo Birds out here at Princess Auto Stadium.
Yeah, we talked about, as you see Wilson lining up out wide. Good read on the play by Sunderland, who's making a quick downhill break to that football to break things up. Gets in there with the left hand.
Excellent field position awaits the Ticats. Jamison Sheen from just outside his own end zone tries to line drive one out there. Bird will take it at the 50. Bird near side, nowhere to go. And with just over 3 minutes left, Bo Levi is going to get the ball back with a chance to seal the deal here.
Well, big second half, particularly that 3rd quarter for the Hamilton Tiger Cats with a couple of touchdowns against a Winnipeg team that had been so stingy over the last couple of weeks. Not eye-popping numbers, but what stands out to me, you know, the thing that Scott Milanovic has been on Bo Levi Mitchell about has been decision-making, not forcing passes, not taking chances. A couple of very good, safe decisions for Bo in this ball game. Hopefully we'll have a chance to talk more about that.
He'll give it to Bell. And he's able to lunge ahead. Got about 3 yards on that first down carry as it takes us inside 3 minutes. Ticats looking for just their 2nd road win of the season and hoping to snap a 3-game slide. Bombers with other ideas. Week 12 continues tomorrow. Nathan Rourke and the Lions heading cross country to Ottawa to take on the Red Blacks. CFL on TSN 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 4 Pacific. That'll be a good one. Lions, they've been struggling. Ottawa, most pleasant surprise in the league so far this year.
And how about that great Jeremiah Masoli story?
Oh, man.
Last week.
The emotions?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, one of the CFL's real good guys. I think a lot of fans coast to coast were happy to see him have that success.
Just inside 3 minutes, buckle up for the rest of Friday Night Football. This is a huge down here. Mitchell over the middle, incomplete, was looking for O'Leary Orange, and that'll bring up 3rd down, and the Bombers are going to get it back.
Well, that's what they needed, was a quick stop to give themselves as much time on the clock as possible, particularly given the fact that they're going to be looking at it, unless they get a terrific return here, they're going to be looking at a long field. So they're going to need.
Well, they've got a kicker who's banged home 2 from 60 and 1 from 57. He would have the wind at his back late in this game. His kick. Angle towards the far sideline, and that'll bounce out of bounds just inside the 20.
That's great execution by Nick Constantino. He looks like he's going to kick it to his left, goes cross body with it, gets Whitehead cheating the other way, which allows him to get that ball on the ground, out of bounds, eliminate the risk of a big return from Lucky.
Put all the strategy into punting, eh?
Oh,
right, everybody thinks they just kick it up.
He's angling, he looks like he's going left, swings his leg across the body.
Very tricky.
Crafty bit of punting there.
Winnipeg gonna have a chance here. 1st and 10. Kolaris, far side. That's up for grabs. Intercepted. Oh boy! Ticats take it away. 3rd interception of the game for Kolaris. And that might do it. Look at Chris Jones, all smiles on that Hamilton sideline for the first time.
Yeah, and listen, I'll tell you, I don't know that it has anything to do with anything Chris Jones is doing differently. Sometimes you just need a shake-up to make some things happen. And here you have the Hamilton Tiger Cats, a team that had not been able to produce turnovers all year, putting themselves in a position to win the football game because they've been able to produce turnovers. And the other piece I want to talk about, I started mentioning it before, Bo Levi Mitchell and decision-making. There have been moments in this ball game where you could hear from up here Scott Milanovich's voice in Bo's head in terms of what he should do with the ball.
First interception of the season for Wilson. Bell driven back behind the line of scrimmage. And that'll bring up 2nd and 11.
Yeah, and they still got some work to do to close this one out. The world of Canadian football, over 2 minutes on the clock here.
Zach Kolaris this season now, 5 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. You know who that ties him with? Bo Levi Mitchell, for the most in the league.
Without all the touchdown passes.
Exactly. Mitchell would love a first down here. He's got Litre in the game to his left. Bombers will only send 4. Mitchell with time. How about a deep shot down the field? Incomplete. Bonds working against Papin. And it'll be 3rd down and a field goal attempt for Leggio.
Well, we've seen them. This is the second time trying to go to this matchup. Patman towards the top of your screen. Big target. Working against Bonds on the outside. Essentially trying to create a mismatch for a jump ball situation. But Bonds battles, gets himself in position, and once again makes a play.
Leggio missed from almost this exact same spot just moments ago. Milanovic is going to challenge. He's running down the sideline, kicking his challenge flag.
And
now the whistle will be blown.
You can see in the replay where Bond's hand got the collar of Patman.
Hamilton is challenging the previous play for pass interference. The play will be reviewed.
Things are getting juicy on Friday Night Football, aren't they?
And I suspect that what this will come down to in terms of the review is, do you feel that the contact, which happens just before the ball gets there, see the right hand of Bonds on the collar of the jersey, a quick tug there. But does that affect Patman's ability to catch the ball?
Because Patman is pushing him off a bit too.
Yeah.
Like they're fighting for it.
Yeah, so there's a bit of a pull there, but he separates himself from that. And the ball still gets through, quite frankly, to Patman.
Yeah, he still had a crack at it, didn't he?
Yeah, the ball gets through, it hits the shoulder pad.
Interesting call coming up here. Both of these coaches coming into the game 3 for 6 on challenges so far this season. This one changes the outcome of the game big time. Let's get the ruling.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Hamilton will be charged a timeout.
I like this ruling. There's contact there. There was a bit of a grab there, but it wasn't, frankly, egregious. Both guys are hand fighting on the play.
Leggio once again looking for that 4-point cushion. This is straight away, and that is up. And this time he gets the job done. Hamilton leads 23-19 with 1:48 on the clock.
And let's go back a couple minutes to Lucky Whitehead's decision to run the ball out of the end zone on the previous missed field goal. He could give up the single point. Hamilton was up by 1. Whether you're down by 1 or down by 2, a field goal gives you the lead. He had a short return.
Yeah.
Does the difference in field position maybe change the situation there when Winnipeg forces Hamilton into a kicking situation? Maybe that kick is a punt rather than another field goal attempt based on field position.
I think he would 100% give up that single. But still 1:48.
Yeah, lots of time. It's just now you need a touchdown, whereas a field goal would have done it for you before.
You're going to need Collaros to come up big for you, though. He's 14 of 30 for 135 and 3 interceptions. One of his worst games as a Bomber. It's got to be. But still a chance to redeem himself and pick up a victory for his club. Whitehead takes it at the 16. Lucky Whitehead picks his way ahead to the 35, pushing for a little bit more. And that is where the Bombers will go to work with 100 seconds on the clock.
Well, Zach Collaros there. You see the number at the bottom of the screen, 24 career game-winning drives. So familiar territory for the veteran quarterback.
25-4 at home as a Bombers starter. 3-4 in his career against the Ticats. And Brady Oliveira, I believe, is back in there next to him. Collaros, deep shot down the field, looking for Dembski. No! Over his head, Dembski in a race with 2 defenders. And that'll bring up second down.
There you see Nick Dembski getting on his horse. He's just going to hit this one with speed. Splits the two defenders. Would have been highlight reel had he been able to haul this one in. But not much room to breathe there.
Second and 10. 3 down territory now for Collaros and the Bombers. 3-man front from the Ticats. They'll get it away. That is caught. First of the game for Lawler, but they'll be 3 yards shy.
Interesting to note Brady Oliveira back in the game for the Bombers. Looks like he's hobbling a little bit in that backfield.
Empty backfield, 3rd and 3. A completion to Wilson, and he's going to turn it upfield. Oh, he's taken down heavily at the 50, but the Bombers have some life.
A big catch for Ontario Wilson, who just seems to grow week by week. Well, he almost got clotheslined there by Panabaker.
3 options to the right for Collaros. Escapes from the pocket. On the run. He's going to keep it himself, and he'll get out of bounds after picking up close to 4 yards on the scramble.
And good decision by Collaros, recognizing time is at a premium. He can't spend a lot of time scrambling around in the backfield. Pick one way, go. If there's a throw there, take it. If not, run and get out of bounds.
They give him 3, 2nd and 7. Field goal will not do it here. They got to find the end zone. Oliveira stands in to his right. Zach throwing again. He's got some room up the middle if he wants it. And he'll be taken down. There's a flag on the near sideline. And we'll sort that out as Collaros is stopped about a yard shy of a first down.
Collaros taking a heavy hit on the play, but he looks no worse for wear.
Illegal contact, Hamilton, number 27. 10-yard penalty, first down.
First down, Bombers. Jonathan Moxey.
Yeah, obviously not liking the call. Not sure if he was signaling that he was grabbed on the play. Right now, you just got to line up and play.
Lawler at the top of your screen. Dembski in the slot to the right of Collaros. They'll give it to Brady Oliveira right up the middle, and he'll take it down. He stopped just shy. I'll give him about 9 on that first down carry.
And you can see where Oliveira looks like he's got a little bit of a limp going here. That one well blocked up by the offensive line. Get them close to a first down.
Collaros, 2nd and 1. Oliveira again. Patience pays off with the first down. And 44 seconds on the clock. You can tell he is pushing through this. Capacity crowd in Winnipeg looking to cheer their Bombers home to a victory.
And being treated to an exciting finish one way or another. Obviously hoping their Bombers can pull this out.
First down from the Hamilton 22. Collaros looks over the middle. Nothing there on the run to his right. Gets it to Dembski along the sideline. And he'll step out of bounds just inside the 15.
Once again, you've got Zach Collaros just buying time, waiting for something to come open. Good heads up there by Dembski, just stepping out at the first down marker.
Back to Brady Oliveira on the ground. Takes it down to the 10-yard line for the first down. And 29 seconds on the clock.
Spot will be interesting here as to whether or not they can get a first down without scoring.
This is sitting right on the 10.
Yeah, so they got 3 plays.
Got to get to the end zone. 4 options. Wide side right for Claris. Looks to the left side. Hauled in. Wilson stops just shy. And Straffler time.
Let's take a look at again as Wilson goes up.
Oh,
he loses the ball.
That ball is incomplete.
The ruling on the play is an incomplete pass. It'll be second down. Incomplete pass, second down.
It's the right call.
Yep. Undebatable. Drama-filled Friday night football here.
So the Bombers will have 2 chances here from the 10-yard line to get into the end zone. Yeah, you see Wilson goes up and gets it. But it was Destin Talbert reaching in, I think, got just enough of Wilson or the ball to cause him to lose that one as he was on his way down to the turf.
So we'll do it again from the 10. Winnipeg looking for their 3rd win in a row. Ticats hoping to snap a 3-game slide. Claris with Lawler and Dembski both in the slot to his left. Claris looks that way, throws that way, touchdown Winnipeg! Kenny Lawler's got it, and the Bombers go on top late. What a finish here in the Peg!
Oh, what a terrific throw by Zach Collaros, part of a fantastic drive. Under pressure to march it down there. What had not been a banner night passing the football, obviously, for the Bombers quarterback. Picked off 3 times in this game, but he is absolute money with this game on the line. Threads it in there. Lawler does a terrific job securing the catch, protecting himself to get down so there's not going to be the risk of a hit, causing that ball to jar loose.
Castillo for a 3-point lead. That is up, and it is through. An 11-play, 72-yard drive in 1 minute and 21 seconds. Just the 2nd catch of the game for Lawler. Could prove to be the winner.
Yeah, watch Kenny Lawler working from the outside. He's going to curl around and sit down in front of the quarterback. Claris threads the needle. Lawler gets down, protects the rock. Max protection here as the Bombers go 2 backs.
Well, we said Zach was having one of his least impactful nights as a Bomber. 3 interceptions, 50% completion, and then puts together a phenomenal drive as a veteran quarterback can do. 72 yards when they needed him the most.
And that's, as you alluded to, a veteran guy able to put the first 58 minutes of this football game out of his mind.
Just step out and you have a chance to win it. Go get it done. What did we say at the beginning of that? 24 career game-winning drives.
And it's up to the defense and special teams right now to see if they can help him make that 25.
Well, it set the stage for a deep shot from Laggio to tie it. The former Bomber already missed one tonight. That'd be quite the finish, too. But Bo's going to have to connect on something. Now, he has tonight. He's moved the ball down the field tonight. Bo Levi Mitchell. There's an injured Ticat on the field here. Let's take a look at the penalty that extended this drive.
So keep an eye at the bottom of your screen. Jonathan Moxey, the corner, was called for illegal contact on this play. And And his contention is that the receiver, and I think Jonathan Moxey may have a case here. Quite frankly, he's involved in contact, but may have been embellished, but that extended the drive, which culminated in the Collaros to Lawler touchdown.
Leggio will warm up, but he'll need some help just to get a crack at it. Sports Center will be coming your way at the end of Friday Night Football. Looks like our injured Ticat is now up and heading off. That's Sunderland, who was hurt a little bit earlier in the game as well. He'll walk off again. Jordan Bird and Jonathan Moxey will go back to handle the kick return duties. We'll see how Castillo handles this. Crowd to their feet at Princess Auto Stadium as the Bombers try to seal this away. Hammers it high. Bird will step underneath it at the 10. Back up to the 20. Finds a little bit of space and steps out just shy of the 30 with 13 seconds on the clock. They're not done yet.
Well, they got a shot. They kind of had things clicking for them in the second half. They're going to need a couple big chunks here.
7 catches for Tim White in this game. Does he have another one in him? Bombers defense will try to end it. Mitchell from the pocket dumps it off. O'Leary Orange taken down at the 35. That's not enough. And 7 seconds on the clock. They got to hurry.
Yeah, I thought they'd go for a bigger chunk. Shamar Bridges on the outside. Big receiver, big target.
Clock ticks down. Hit 0 here. Bo Levi in trouble. Avoids pressure. On the run to his right. Heaves one down the field. Up for grabs. Caught on the far side. But the clock is at 0. And the Bombers hang on for a thrilling come-from-behind victory.
A terrific battle by both of these teams. The Hamilton Tiger Cats struggled through the first half, came out in the second like a house on fire, putting up points against a Winnipeg Blue Bomber team that had been lights out defensively for the last few weeks. But Winnipeg, in the closing minutes, in the clutch, Zach Collaros leads a remarkable drive to put his team on top.
This game started a little bit slow, but finished in high gear, didn't it? The Bombers trailing late, drive the field. Zach Collaros finds Kenny Lawler for the touchdown that put them on top for good. Ticats have lost 4 in a row and sit at the bottom of the East. Bombers have their first 3-game winning streak of the season. 26-23 the final. Sports Center is next. Good night from Winnipeg.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sports Center. Mark and Jermaine with you. The Hamilton Ticats, you think of what they have to do between now and the end of the season to make the playoffs, and they are seconds away from winning in Winnipeg for the first time in 5 years. And then Zach Collaros, who did not have a great night by his standards.
Not at all.
Played his best in that final minute.
Yeah, when it really counts and it's on the line, the veteran quarterback brings his best, and that's exactly what he did in the final drive of that game. Leading up to that, how could you have that much faith, though? Ticats, Blue Bombers, Chris Jones making his Ticats debut, taking over defensive play calling duties as the new senior defensive assistant. Skip to the second.
Jamison Sheen lays this one out there. Bird away, takes it just inside the 35.
with the huge hit on Jordan Bird in his first game as a Ticat. And Michael Ayers scoops up the fumble for the score. Winnipeg goes up by 13 at the half. Let's go to the third. Hamilton inside Winnipeg's 40. Bo Levi Mitchell. He connects with Tim White for 27 yards. Tim White had himself a game. Then Mitchell hands it off to Greg Bell, who takes it to the house for the touchdown. Just the second TD the Bombers have allowed in the last 3 games. It's now 16-10 Winnipeg. Richard Leonard picks off Zach Collaros. The second interception Collaros has given up. It's actually the first time Hamilton has gotten 2 interceptions in a game this season, and they'd score a field goal on the ensuing drive. Ticats now down by 6. No time in the third. Bell takes it in once again. Could this be? It's his second touchdown of the game. Hamilton hasn't won in Winnipeg in nearly 5 years. Goes up by 1, heading to the 4th. Mitchell looking for Tim White again. A battle for the ball on the catch. But Brandon Alexander comes up with the ball. But the play is blown down as an incomplete pass. Look again. Looks like Alexander had it. Winnipeg challenged the play, but the call stands. So Hamilton's drive stays alive with a 38-yard field goal attempt, but Mark Leggio misses it left. Lucky Whitehead brings it out of the end zone, and he gets just outside the 10-yard line. Now it is 23-19 Hamilton in the final minute. Second and goal for the Bombers, and Zach Collaros finds Kenny Lawler in the end zone. They come up big when it mattered most. So the Bombers win at home in a bit of a thriller. These two teams are moving in opposite directions as the Bombers have won 3 in a row and 5 of their last 7, while the Tabbies have dropped 4 straight. That's a tough one for the Tabbies. Winnipeg improves to 2-3 against the East Division this season, while Hamilton falls to 1-6 against the West. Entering Friday, the Ticats and Bombers sat last and second last in the CFL in turnover ratio. Combined, they were a negative 18. Ouch. With more, let's go to Kate in the panel.
Alongside Jim Barker, Matt Dunnigan, Milt Stiegel, and a big win for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers with the West being as wide open as it is. They have won 3 straight games now, and this wasn't the easiest victory they have come across as of late. And kudos to the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the defense. That was much improved, and that's 1 game with Chris Jones in that position now. But for the Bombers, it took all the way to the end. It was under 2 minutes to go, but they finally orchestrated a game-winning drive. It was a thriller, Milt.
It was gritty. It was a gritty victory, gritty performance, especially by Zach Collaros, our quarterback. And leading up to that last drive, he had played pretty bad. He'd thrown for just over 100 yards and 3 interceptions. But when you have a player of his experience, a player who played in big games, MOP, MVP, all those things, he understands how to win. He understands that, yeah, I may be having a bad game, but you gave me this last opportunity. He took full advantage of it. Also, a gritty performance by their star running back, Brady Oliveira, who I thought he wasn't going to come back in the game because he had a thigh injury. Well, he showed some gritness, came back in, and they won this game. So big victory for this team. They needed that momentum going into these next 2 games against a team that's first in the West, Saskatchewan Roughriders. So gritty performance by these Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
And they were tapping in their depth big time. You talk about Zach Collaros having the struggles for most of the game until that last drive, Milt. You know, when you lose your starting left tackle, Stanley Bryant, early in the football game, and then your backup Wallace goes in, he gets hurt, and you're down to 5 offensive linemen. You made 2 changes up front, and people are playing different positions. Hamilton took full advantage. And I'm with you, Kate. When you say a little Jonesy magic there, I think that team got up on them, and they challenged receivers more, and you can see a little jump in their step. And you heard Dwayne Ford talk about it. Sometimes change is good just for a shake-up and get people motivated. And they were balling on that back end. And Zach, even when he had time, was thrown into double coverage oftentimes. Katsatonis getting over the top there. And to me, it was just one of those ball games that these quarterbacks needed to play things close to the vest. Zach turned the ball over 3 times. Bo did not turn it over 1 time. This football game came down to field position and who wanted it the most. And it was one of those things where I credit both defenses for getting after it. And you look at two veteran quarterbacks. You talked about it, Milton. These guys, both of them, 50% completion tonight. And to me, that tells a story about it was tough sledding out there for both these guys.
You know, it was a great effort by Zach. He did what pros do. He won a big ball game for them, taking them down the field that way with a makeshift offensive line. He was feeling pressure all night. Turned it over 3 times, but came through when they needed it the most. You feel for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. They've struggled all year. They came out and played their rear ends off and deserved a better fate. Bo Levi, very, very efficient. He was 50%, but didn't turn the ball over, did the things that he needed to do. So it was not enough because they didn't get the win. But
right.
It was they deserved a better fate than what they ended up with.
The only people who are saying that are people in Hamilton. No one else is caring about them losing the game.
Yeah, well, like I say.
I think the people of Hamilton just want wins now too. It was a gritty performance, it was, but they need wins.
But what he's saying about the pop in their step, they played like they cared about being there.
They had 3 picks, and they've done that all season.
And hopefully, they can carry this into Labor Day for their game with the Argos.
And they found somebody in Greg Bell. And Greg Bell's got a little pop, too. And I think that he needs to be utilized more. 3 carries in the first half and 9 in the second. Difference there for Hamilton.
I'm with you, JB, though. This sets up a couple incredible Labor Day classics as we send it back to SportsCenter.
Thanks, guys. New on SC led the Bombers with his 25th career game-winning drive. It's Zach Collaros with our John Liu.
Zach, it's pretty rare to lose the turnover battle and still win the game. So how would you characterize this victory?
Relief, really relief. The fans were unbelievable all night long. So was our defense, and our special team scored a touchdown for us. So I made it harder on us.
Can you just take us through that final drive, please?
Yeah, you know, guys were making plays out there. You know, Kenny with a huge catch. Pokey getting extra yards there for us. Scramble drill was working. Yeah, it was just, you know, nobody gave up.
So how much were your play calls and play packages affected by losing 2 offensive linemen, especially your stalwart at your blindside protection, Stanley Bryant?
It's not an excuse. We got to play better than we did.
Your level of concern when you saw Stanley struggling on the field early in the game?
You know, my level of concern during the game was very big. I think we've heard since. So I love you, Stan, if you're watching. We missed you out there.
Thanks for the sack.
Thanks, brother.
And this one caught the game-winning touchdown. New on SC, Kenny Lawler.
Kenny, for 58 minutes, it was tough for your offense to get traction. What was the difference in that final drive?
Heart, you know, who wanted more? That was the difference, man. We went out there last drive, you know, it wasn't going our way much game, but we said as long as we got the ball last drive, we can make something happen, and we sure enough did. All 12 men on that field.
How much heart was involved losing 2 offensive linemen, especially Stanley Bryant and Brady Oliveira playing through what looked like a bad right knee through the better part of that second half?
It was a lot of heart, man. We got to honor our teammates, and with them going now, you know, we just got to honor them a little bit more, and that's what we did, man. We came out, we fought, we put that hard hat on there, and we was out there, man, and last drive, you seen what happened.
Special teams stepped up big with the touchdown, and defense doing what it's been doing for the last 4 games prior. What would you like to say about those 2 phases of your game?
Hey, man, 3-phase football, we all play together, man. If one phase ain't doing it, you know, the other 2 got to pick it up. So, you know, like I said, we got a team here, man. In that locker room, man, we play for each other, and as long as there's still time on that clock, don't count us out.
Thanks for this, Kenny.
Thank you.
All right, can't stop, won't stop. We got 2 more CFL games on TSN this weekend. Here's the odds courtesy of FanDuel. The Lions are a road favorite in Ottawa on Saturday. BC is 8-1 against the spread in their last 9 games against the Red Blacks. And on Sunday, it's the Alouettes hosting the Elks as 7.5-point favorites. Make sure to catch all the action right here on TSN.
Only in the CFL, right?
Final play for the walk-off Argo win. Iralau heading left. Missed it. It heads out, but it's a single point, and it doesn't matter. He kicked it far enough, didn't get the field goal, but the Argos do get the win.
This is going to open up a whole bunch of discussion throughout the week about winning a game on a missed field goal.
I can't stand the fact that you can win a game by missing a field goal.
We'll take it.
I was actually a little surprised at just how much ire this has caused. The Rouge has been in the game forever, and it's rarely in this situation. But I guess you can be upset about it.
Well, there's a lot of let's just hope it doesn't decide a game comments around this. Like, there's so many great rules in the CFL. We just saw it in the game in Winnipeg, you know, with the time stopping inside 3 minutes. You get these great finishes. This is one that I don't love, and I don't think I'm in the minority on this one. With more, here's Laura Dykin.
We have our football insider, Farhan Lalji, joining us now. And we saw on Thursday night an only in the CFL finish between the Argos and the Riders. Farhan, you had a chance to speak to some people in the league. What are they saying about how the game ended on Thursday?
Well, Laura, the reaction has been mixed. You know, I've talked to a number of GMs and coaches, and many of them want this rule gone, but I'm not sure that they're willing to fight for it, you know. And one GM said to me, this is a bit of a reactive league, so you never know what could spur that final reaction. You know, 60 to 70% is kind of what I'm hearing, but this is not the first time this has been brought up at a rules committee type of setting, and I'm not saying it will be brought up again, but they've had this conversation before. This isn't new, and it's not about necessarily doing away with the Rouge entirely. It's just about modifications, but the Rouge is one of the sacred cow rules when it comes to CFL purists. Don't touch our 3 downs and don't touch our Rouge, so I think it'll take a lot to move this.
The walk-off Rouge. Farhan, do you think they should change the rule? And I guess the follow-up to that is, do you think they will change the rule?
I absolutely think they should change this rule, Laura. And again, I'm a Rouge guy. I like it, and I like the fact that it creates some returns. And quite frankly, the missed field goal return is probably the most exciting part of it, because you're more likely, with all the old linemen on the field, to get an exciting play on a missed field goal return than you would be on, say, a kickoff return or a punt return. But guess what? They didn't have a chance to return this because it went through the end zone. And that's where I think the modification should happen. In the final 3 minutes of a game, where they make other rule changes, which did impact last night's game. Other changes have happened in the final 3. You could do that here and just prevent any kick, whether it be a field goal, a punt, or a kickoff. If it doesn't have an opportunity to be returned, no Rouge is awarded. I think it's an absolutely simple tweak. The last time we saw a walk-off Rouge to win the game, October of 2022, Boris Beatty and ironically the Toronto Argos did it. It was brought up in Rules Committee at the end of that season, but ultimately they didn't change it. So to get back to your question of, do I think they will change it? I don't. I just don't think there's enough appetite to fight for it and deal with potential pushback. But I'll tell you this is low-hanging fruit for people who don't like the league. It is an easy, easy fix, and you can get away from that kind of criticism.
As much as we like the Rouge, I know the Rough Riders are not fans of the Rouge on Friday morning, that's for sure, as their winless streak has now hit 5 games, 4 losses and a tie over that span.